Alright, so I think we should be all set. We can try it out if you want, but yeah, no rush. And then for your clicker, that's connected into your computer, right? So you should be able to just use that as a normal with no issues.
Okay.
Good, how are you? Oh, just
Doing all this?
yeah. I'm gonna figure out.
On Zoom thing too?
I guess so, but
Okay.
I don't know why you do that when you get free lunch.
I didn't realize something pretty much, and I was thinking, something says you're gonna eat there. Okay, good. Sometimes like maybe I'll stop
Yeah, right.
and get crap that I don't need to be eating. So crap, but yes.
No, I get that 100%.
Feel strongly about it.
I'm a very big foodie, and like
Me too.
Elizabeth knows that I get to certain points if I don't have food for too long, I get hangry.
Me too.
I don't see it. I think I'm fine, but
Well, I don't realize it's happening to me until later. I'm like, did you ever?
Yeah. I just needed just a cheeseburger.
Feather falling. It's exciting.
Right.
We're okay now.
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
Yeah, you're good. They're like, we won't forget.
Yeah, they're like that. This is why we don't want your dad not eat.
We're glad we hid the children from you. Not that bad either.
I know.
It's a real thing though.
It really is. So it's funny because there will be times where like driving and it's around lunchtime. Elizabeth will be like, "You need food. I need to go." Okay. All right.
You keep it.
I mean, I'm not going to argue. You're right. Yeah.
So we can survive.
You would think she would learn to have like a little snack pack for me or something. You're slacking.
Not just over me.
Right? We only ever think about them.
These moms.
Hi, I'm Sue.
Hi Sue. How are you? I'm Lynette. I met you a couple weeks ago, 2 weeks ago.
Okay,
Yes.
how are you? Thanks for being here.
Good, yeah, thanks for having this.
Absolutely, I'm excited
Thank you.
to share this content with you guys. Fabulous. The one thing is fabulous.
Yeah.
Can't wait. This is the first time I've done this class.
Well,
same here.
hopefully it will be good.
I'm very excited. Elizabeth has.
It's fabulous. We'll
Well-
see how well the instructors share.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Elizabeth has nothing but the best things to say about you, so
She's the
I'm super excited.
I love sharing this content because it is just so good for business, for life. It is such a difference.
Absolutely.
I taught this to the women's leadership group at my church. And the takeaways that they had were just so fun.
Okay. I can see that.
This is hard, narrowing it to 10 to 15. You know what I mean?
I know, that's the point. You have to choose. You should have enough food. You know what, I'm gonna give you some tips
Okay.
to make it doable.
Okay.
Not saying it's gonna be easy, but it will be doable, I promise.
Okay.
I spent a long time, we're supposed to get it down to 3. I got mine down to 5 and couldn't get it any further. I just recently narrowed to 4.
Okay.
So, it is hard.
Yeah. Because all of them matter.
Yeah,
The parts of us.
well, we'll talk about what's aspirational and what's really truly of value. Because those are different.
Yeah.
And I discovered that in my own experience, which was a little bit hard because the value that I ended up realizing was aspirational. I really wanted it to be one of my values. Whoops. It was something I work on,
No.
but it's not the be all end all out.
Do you want me to help you with that?
One day.
Yeah.
I'm just not tall enough to do it on the ground, so I generally lay it out that way with my feet. Oh, that didn't work either.
Here, I
Come on. Thank you. You know, it'll just slide right in.
Is it a twist?
Should just slide.
Here, why do you hold it? Let me try to do it.
I don't have the long end, do I?
So,
No, that's the right
I
end.
did it the same to be straight.
There you go, good job. Now. This is the part where I have to put it over on its side, because I'm not tall enough to reach. Bruce, are you tall enough to reach that?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Just goes up to here and look.
Right here. Ah, teamwork.
That was not the
Teamwork.
next of my
Takes a village.
Yes, but together we can do it.
In a taller village than me. Great. As I maneuver this. Okay.
Did you create that or did you?
A friend of mine made it. The
You designed
logo,
it?
no, the logo's designed by One Thing.
Okay.
It's actually the front of the book.
Oh, is that the book? Well, there have been a few books talked about. I don't know if that's one of them, but I wanted whatever that book was. So I'm like, oh, it sounded like
I'm giving this one away at the end of today.
You are.
I am. So if you stick around, you have an opportunity to win one.
I hope so.
We're not going anywhere.
Was this exclusive to the family reunion? Like that? Is that what that's from? Or no? This is a book that was already.
Jay Paxson and Gary Keller wrote the book. They're the same authors of The Millionaire Real Estate Agent, The
Yeah.
Real Estate Investor.
But is it out like in the world for people?
Yes.
Okay.
We just celebrated our 13th anniversary of being published.
Okay.
It's a multi-million bestseller on the New York Times bestseller list for years and years and years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but I still run into people all the time who've never heard of it. It is such a great book.
Okay.
I get real excited, like I said, when I get to share the content. It's just so perfect.
Thank you.
My pleasure. I'm glad to be with you guys. Okay. How's your family all doing with Kevin's passing?
As good as can be, I guess. You know, it was definitely something none of us were expecting.
Yeah, that was just weird.
But the good thing about them is they are a big family, so they've got a lot of people to support each other and lean on to. So yeah, it's right now it's just been the scramble trying to figure out how to keep everything afloat and how to transfer everything for Valerie and stuff. She's just trying to get all that situated. But
Is she gonna take over as OP?
she's trying to, yeah. She's currently in talks with KWRI because there's a big process with all that.
There is a huge process.
I would think right there.
Well, that's
Your
what,
next kid.
I mean, she's kind of shocked because they haven't gotten back to her for like a week, and
Yeah.
she's like, "This is, wouldn't you want your office to have an OP?" I mean, but
Especially when it's familiar with how it's been running.
right,
Yeah, they have a huge process at KWRI
yeah,
in order to approve any OP, which is good.
Yeah,
Um,
like I get it. I can see why,
Yeah.
but it's like she's there. It's
Yeah.
like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just think of it like a king and queen.
yeah, and to make it harder than it probably has to be, but yet, who knows what else they're doing.
Yeah,
So, did you go to family reunion? I didn't either. No, I didn't either.
I think it's something I would like to do and
Good.
hear all the
Yeah, they're
stuff.
right.
I don't want to put on the credit card list if I had it, like.
I understand,
again,
that's
like-
smart.
But it's hard not to do something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lead with revenue, right? That's the rule.
Yeah.
We all adhere to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Big deal.
Well, I
Okay,
debated it though.
Okay.
now, how do I connect?
Sounds good. Yeah, love you guys. Elizabeth said that Theo with home warranty should be here around 11:30.
Perfect.
And I think she said he was planning on about 10-minute presentations.
Great, that'll work. Connecting the slideshow.
So go to, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go here, we're gonna maximize that real quick.
Share.
And that's the one there?
Perfect. Well, that was too easy, sorry, that was kind of.
No, I'd rather it be easier than. I mean, wait, there's been struggles sometimes where you just feel like you can't even figure it out.
Here we go.
Now, are these just like things that like we want in ourselves or that we want out of people or just?
No, this is you, this is all about you, it has nothing to do with
Like,
anybody
I
other
wanna be
than
like
you.
it. Do I wanna have?
Well, and it's not do you wanna be, because then it's an aspirational value.
Okay,
What I want you to figure out is what's really truly already you.
okay, so what are we currently?
Yeah.
Okay,
So I'll give you an example. My number one core value is impact.
Okay.
I have to feel every day that I've made an impact on the world around me somehow,
Okay.
whether that be teaching, coaching, my real estate business, it doesn't matter what I'm doing, my family, my grandkids, my youngest son who needs so much impact.
yeah,
But I have to feel that at the end of every day, in order to have had a successful day, I have to have been there.
that's like your main one.
It is essential to who I am.
Yeah,
If I don't do that, I feel out of sorts.
yeah,
That's number one for me.
okay, okay,
And it's all about how I am pouring into others,
yeah.
which is again really, really important.
So you
to me.
look at the one that's left, if you can get to it, and then you see, okay,
We're gonna
what I
prioritize it.
do need.
So not only are you gonna choose your three,
Okay,
you're gonna prioritize this. So again, my new priority, number one is impact, right?
yeah,
And then I narrowed it down now to 4. I had 5, but now I've narrowed it down to 4. Abundance, and when I say abundance, I mean abundance in everything.
yeah, that's
Mindset,
what I think, yeah,
wealth,
yeah,
sharing.
yeah. I
Uh,
like, that's like the first one,
Yeah,
but like.
that's one of mine.
Cause there's a lot of abundance ways,
Yep.
right? Like ways
Yep.
that, so, yeah. Yeah.
One of the aspirational values, and I'll tell this story when we get to class, but I had gratitude as one of my values, my core values. And when I really dug into it, I realized I want to be grateful. However, if I end up a day where I'm not, it doesn't cause me not to sleep.
Yeah,
So it's an aspirational value. I want to be that way, but it's not necessary for me to breathe, if that makes sense.
yeah,
Impact is necessary for me to breathe.
yeah, cause like abundance, right, for example. It's something I need more of in certain areas,
Yeah.
right? But. Am I okay with who, you know, how, so do I circle that or is it no, cause it's something I aspire to have?
It really depends on how you feel
But
about
I
it. You're gonna look at words and you're gonna connect. And
Yeah,
those words you connect to, you're gonna circle. Then you're gonna start to narrow those
then we
circles
can
down.
dissect it,
Yep.
okay.
Yep. My third one is, let's see, abundance experience. What's my third one? Oh, curiosity. Growth is my third. So I have to feel like I'm growing as a human, growing as a realtor, growing as a trainer, growing as a coach. That I'm growing in every area of my life, as a parent, as a grandparent,
Yeah,
as a friend. What am I doing to grow myself? Which means I have to have something pouring into me in order for me to grow, so that I can then pour into others, right? That's why growth is such a big deal to me.
it puts your mind in so many different places and perspectives, which I think is important and good, you know?
Yeah. And then my fourth one, which just changed last year, is experience. I realized that I need to create experiences, positive experiences for my clients, for my family, for myself.
Yeah.
And that can be in every area of life. Hi there.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, good.
Welcome, glad you're here.
I'm Diane.
Hey, Diane, I'm Stu.
How are you doing?
Pleasure, thank you.
How are things going?
Good.
Yeah, good,
Yeah,
good.
I'm looking at getting a night job just to supplement my income for a bit.
What kind of night job are you thinking?
Well, back into I did medical assembly years ago,
Okay.
but it would be like 5 o'clock to 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
So
But I
5
still
days a
get a
week?
little bit a day.
4 days a week, Monday
That
through
sounds like a
Thursday.
lot.
It's a lot.
Is the
But-
pay better because it's night?
It would be like. If it comes through, which I sent in my resume,
Yeah.
which is way overqualified for assembly, right? But, it would be like $29 an hour.
Okay.
It would get me by.
That would help supplement.
More than.
Part of what we're gonna talk about today, Diane, will help you with that.
This, when I read the description of this class, and it's like, it reminds me of the What Matters Most seminar that I went to. I literally quit my job after I went to that seminar. And yeah, I mean,
Who did that seminar?
that was the Franklin Covey,
Uh-huh.
What Matters Most. I don't remember the gentleman, but I can tell you one thing I did remember. When I walked in, all we did, like, it was a big conference, there was probably over 100 of us there,
Uh-huh.
right? And I walked in, it was at a hotel, and all I did was, I just said, he said, "What's your name?" or whatever. I said, "Oh, Diane," or whatever, and walked in, right? Nothing big, no conversation, nothing. During that conference, he called everybody, he knew everybody's name. And I was like, wow, oh my God.
I work at that, I'm not very good. However, I work at it, and there are people who really connect
Yeah.
and remember a name, and that's such a big deal.
He said
Especially
he
in our
worked,
business.
yeah, he said he worked with a guy that like trained him. And he's like, even 30 years later, if he saw you on the street, he'd remember your name. He goes, "I can honestly say after this conference, I won't remember your name." I couldn't believe it. I could not believe how he could do that.
That is cool.
She's not, she's gonna hop on Zoom and monitor for a second,
Talking about stars.
We need to send this.
I do have some
Okay.
little more, but I don't feel a little more.
Okay, I don't, I can scan this to Elizabeth. and then you can grab it.
that was? I don't even know.
That
Okay.
was easier.
That way I don't ruin the nice little table.
Dominoes.
That's the sound.
You want?
Not scared. Thank you.
Of course.
I do.
How are you?
Good, how are you? Rachel, we met the
yes,
other
you
day,
did.
yes.
See you again. Thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you for putting this on.
My pleasure.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I'm trying to get kind of people to sit, but that's okay.
Well, it too. I feel like I don't know, like my sight's funny, so I'm like this is.
I always tell people when they sit in front of the row, they're in the spinning zone.
The splash zone, like at SeaWorld.
Exactly. I don't know if you guys remember a comedian called Gallagher. Do you remember? who that was?
Yes.
He used to, when he would do a big show, we like be at the Paramount and do this big, huge show, comedy show.
Mhm.
And the front 5 or 6 rows would all have this tarp, this plastic tarp to be able to cover themselves. Because he would smash watermelons on stage and different things, and then it would go all over them.
Oh my goodness.
And I thought, I need to have a tarp. For the front row.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like you do it, you're like.
Exactly.
Because of the water.
Hi, how are you? Welcome. Thanks for being here. Anywhere, yeah, preferably a place where there's a handout. And then if we need to make more handouts, we can.
What's your name? Asta. Hi, I'm Lynette.
I'm Rachel.
Lynette, Rachel, Diane is right there, and Asta, that's right, what a pretty name.
Pretty. Well, welcome. Are you new here?
I'm fairly new, yes.
Yeah.
It's around a month and a half.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool beans.
Pleasure to meet you.
I remember being in business for 30 days. Been a long time. I will celebrate my 31st anniversary in real estate in October.
Oh, wow.
Which is just, I can't even believe how that has happened.
You've seen a lot in your career then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, enough to know that don't get used to anything because it all changes. And it's okay because we adapt.
Yeah.
And it's also okay because everybody always needs us.
True, that is true.
Yes.
Yeah, if you're ever stuck in traffic, just think about it.
There you go. There you go.
People know some. Okay, so what I did is you can cross out. Circle signs, a circle.
You guys are just overachievers getting started early with this, huh?
Do we wait?
So you're fine. You're fine. I just want to see who's. Hey Elizabeth, hey Greg, hey Kim,
Hello.
hey girlfriend, how are you? Oh, you're on mute.
I
There you are.
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good, you're gorgeous as ever.
Oh, thank you, Sue. It's good to talk. It's good to hear your voice.
Good to see you. I wish you were here in
Yes.
person so I could hug on you.
I know, I know. I'm in Tennessee right now.
Cool, what part?
Hurricane Mills. Let's see. So about an hour and a half west of Nashville,
Oh.
close to Waverly, Franklin.
Yep. We actually looked to potentially move to the Franklin area. Murfreesboro is kind of what we were concentrating on
Yeah.
outside of Nashville because Nashville's just gotten so expensive.
Yes. Yep. Yep. But the outskirts is beautiful. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful out here for sure.
I have past clients who've become friends who are in Chattanooga and they say like that, but I've never been there.
I've never been there either.
So are you operating out of both states then?
I am. I actually, I just put my Tennessee license. I just retired it. It's too hard to break into this market. It's too small towny. And
Yeah.
I'm just
Pretty
focusing
clicky.
on what?
Pretty clicky.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And
Yes.
if you're not a Southerner, that also kind of works against you.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, I know. Do you know Beth Torrance? She used to be a bowl coach.
Yeah.
She lives in Franklin and works there. She
Okay.
now has her real estate. Well, she's had her real estate license for a long time, but she sells real estate now instead of working the bowl coaching angle.
Yeah.
She and her husband are in Franklin.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, good to see you.
Yes, you too. You too. Looking forward to today.
Me too. This content is so great. I would
Good.
love hearing it.
I was like, yeah, you're really off there. Dude, there's so many words.
So many words, so little time.
Oh my god.
They're gonna be fine, breathe.
Maybe I'm overthinking
And
it.
then some words kind of have the same kind of.
We're gonna talk about that.
Okay.
You can teach the class.
Yeah.
It's what we're gonna teach. Diane, what I was gonna tell you is toward the end of today, we're gonna talk about a process that's one big cost, 7 It's just gonna really help you when you have more than one thing going on. So I'm gonna give you a list, I'm gonna ask you some questions to ask on each one first, okay, that list that you're gonna give, I use it ever since they did it, Jay Paxson, who's one of the authors of the One Thing, and Jordan Freed, who's one of my favorite kids. Put this together, and it's a process for being able to decide what's most good for you today.
Is this supposed to be
Right.
a full person?
You're gonna need some of that going forward as I have it.
I don't want festival. I don't care.
Yeah, this is gonna be really good for you.
It's one of my last done. And talking to Mark.
You really
It's
You were hands.
and I've been doing that.
What else did I? Like bravery.
And this job was great. And she's like, you can't start another career. I don't want to do it. Like assembly.
The environment. It's my environment.
The environment, I'm gonna go back into this, because wanting to do this.
Make sure doing it from the standpoint of it's my way where I wanna go. Right, it's a term solution.
Well, those are all.
And then you could really
Look very similar and just for one of them.
Yeah.
So then you sort of stick to it.
Are you working on any plans?
I have one, but she's waiting for an estate to come.
It's a lot.
I need to go to one of the houses. I need to go clean that. Yeah.
But so knowing that,
Like jinx.
I need to be everything.
Like that was us.
What in my life, what are the great things involved?
I've been emailing from the side of that I'm working on too. Because that overtime, yeah.
And I think it's happened to be.
Guys, I am a real stickler for rewarding the people who are on time instead of waiting for those people to show up late and accommodating them. So I have 10 o'clock based on the clock here in the office. Are you guys okay if we get started?
Yeah.
Do it.
And as people join us late, we'll make incessant fun of them as they walk in. Okay? Cool. Cool. So welcome to everybody who's on Zoom with us. We're glad you're here. Elizabeth is monitoring the chat box for me. Thank you, Elizabeth. And I don't know why I feel like I have to yell when I'm talking to Zoom people. Jeez Louise. Sorry, guys. If you have a question, if you have a comment, something that comes to your mind, please share it online on the chat so that we can all benefit from that. I would appreciate that. And I would tell you guys in the room the same thing. Good morning. Hey, our first chance to make this fun. You missed my instructions that anybody who comes in late, we were gonna make an incessant photo.
Oh,
How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good, thanks.
It's good to see you.
You too. Anyway, if you have a question, if you have a thought, please share it. Because again, we will all benefit from that, including me. One of the best ways for me to continue to learn and grow as a trainer is to take what you guys give me and learn and grow from that. Is that a deal?
Deal.
Perfect. That's me on the screen. I'm Sue Vencill. I am a realtor in this office. I've been a realtor with Keller Williams now for almost 20 years, and I've been in the real estate business for almost 31 in the Metro Denver area. So we were talking before, I've seen a lot of changes in the market, and one thing that I've realized over the years is that's the only constant, is change, right? About the time you feel like you got this whole thing figured out, great, it'll change. And then you'll have more to learn and more to share with your clients and more value to offer your clients. So what we're going to talk about today is information from the best-selling book, The One Thing. How many of you know this book? How many of you have this book? I'm going to give this one away at the end of class today. Okay? And I will tell you, if you want to do a one-to-one meeting with me, I would consider getting you a book at that point too. So if you don't read today. The other thing I want to share, another tool that I use in my coaching and training business is the One Core Values card deck. And these are the same words that you have on your pages, but they're done in little card form. And it's great fun to just spread these all out on the table. Maybe you want to do this with your family. Spread them all out on the table and find the words that speak to you and let them find the words that speak to them. I believe this is $25 on Amazon, I think. It used to be 22 with the One Thing, but I don't believe they're printing these anymore at the One Thing. I think Amazon is. Okay. So anyway, just that you have that. I love mine. I use it all the time with my coaching clients because they need to understand what their mission, vision, values are in order to understand how to structure their businesses to make the most difference in their lives and businesses. Hi there. I'm talking to you. Hi, are you with us?
I am.
Cool, I'm Sue.
I'm Carrie. Nice to meet
Carrie,
you.
nice to meet you. Do you have a handout?
No, I was just gonna print one off.
Great, if you want to grab one from one of the chairs, that's great. Hey. I just want to make sure that we've got everybody ready to go.
Thank you.
Elizabeth, thank you for sending the handout to those folks online so that they can work from those as well. And guys online, if you're online, boy, would I love to see your faces. That makes a difference for me. So if you wouldn't mind, that'd be great. If you do mind, too bad. How's that? So anyway, this is my contact information. I also gave you a little sticky pad and a pen. And I have to show you the pen because I'm real proud of this. So it's a pen, it's a stylus, and a highlighter.
Nice.
I happen to be a freak for highlighters. So take that, it's got my contact information on it. If you want to have a conversation with me about any of our content today or about real estate in general, I'm happy to have that conversation. Dee actually came with me to the last open house I did for my latest listing, and we got to work together that day. It was great fun. So I'm open to that. Whenever I have a listing come on the market, and that's one of my first things is to do an open house. That's how I built my real estate business, was for open houses. So let me know if I can help you in any way. Also, I'm going to ask now, and I'm going to ask at the end, if you know of anybody in your database who could benefit from a business coach, business outside of real estate or inside real estate. Now you guys are all with Mark, right? She's awesome. I got to coach Mark when she was brand new. She was one of my 2 rookies of the year that year. She's fabulous. It's kind of like having a child grow up and take over the family business. You know, it's so cool. And I know she's done such a fabulous job. However, if you know of somebody who's in a business outside of real estate that could benefit from a business coach, or maybe bring me in to share some of this content with their employees as a trainer, I would love that introduction. Is that okay for me to ask?
Absolutely.
Now I'm going to add more value. I'm going to ask again at the end. Okay? Got your permission. Perfect. So just some photos here of me and my involvement in the One Thing. The One Thing just celebrated its 13th anniversary. So it was published 13 years ago. It's been on the New York Times bestseller list ever since. It is cool beans book. And I've been involved with the One Thing now as a coach and trainer since 2017. So I didn't get involved right at the beginning, but not too far after. And so I've had an opportunity to go through 3 different certifications with the One Thing as a coach and a trainer. And one of my coaches is right there. He's one of the authors of the One Thing, Jacob. That's him there. That's us at the last One Thing retreat in Austin, Texas last fall. And then that's just a picture of me with my banner. And I have a celebration button that I use in my coaching. And it's a yes button. So whenever my client, for instance, this morning I had a coaching call before I came here. And this client had a record first quarter. The best first quarter he's ever had in his business. And we've been coaching together now for about 5 years. So on our phone call, I got to click the yes button several times for that. So that was pretty cool. Okay. And I believe in celebration. It's an important piece of feeding our subconscious brain so that our subconscious brain helps us figure out more of that. Right? And then the top photo there with me about 30 pounds ago. Oh my gosh. Jay Papp's-in, I don't know what he was looking at. And then Jeff Woods, who was the president of Productive, which is the company that handles the One Thing at that time. Jeff's no longer in that role. Jay stepped back in. But I volunteered during that conference to have the 2 of them interrogate my GPS. Do you guys know what a GPS is? Stands for Goal Priority Strategy. So it's a 1-page business plan, which comes from the One Thing again. So what's my one big goal for this year as an example? What are the 3 to 5 strategies to make that happen, or priority? And then strategies, 3 to 5 strategies underneath each priority to assign maybe to other people to get stuff done to get my goal to happen, right? So I filled out my GPS, and then they asked for a volunteer to come up on stage and have them work through it, which was absolutely fabulous. But it was really. And when I volunteered, I was sitting kind of at the front table, and I thought, I'll volunteer like this. And they saw my heart, even though it wasn't all the way up, and it was like dark. But it ended up being fabulous. So that's what that photo is. Alignment. What does that word mean to you? Oh, I forgot to tell you. We either participate or we do jumping jacks. Okay.
Take 2 paths and put them on the same path.
Great. Tell us more about that, Chris.
I mean, you have one idea here and one idea here, and you want them to meet in the middle, so you put them together.
So how do I figure out in my life and my business, as an example, how to get everything going the same direction?
Yes.
Perfect. Who else has thoughts around alignment?
Everything working together.
Excellent. Everything working together. Is that realistic?
No.
Maybe not, but is it still a worthy thing to work on?
Yeah, it's a
Right.
good strive, a good thing to strive.
Yes, exactly, exactly. I heard somebody on Zoom, please.
I was just agreeing.
Great, thank you, Greg. Thanks for piping up on there, even though I can't see your face.
Sorry.
Okay, fine. I'll stop asking. I'll stop asking. Anybody else have thoughts around alignment?
Well, I think it's a lot of things, like it can be in your body, like when people go to the chiropractor, they got a line, whatever, so it can be.
Isn't that a great mental picture to have of alignment? So if I'm in alignment at my chiropractor, it means that my spine is where it's supposed to be and everything is connecting properly, right? And what does that alignment do for us with the chiropractor?
Well, can help a lot of things, and it helps you to just.
For ease of movement.
Helps your movement.
Yeah.
Exactly, it helps everything, right? You may have had headaches prior to that, and you don't any longer, right? So if you think of that alignment from a chiropractic standpoint, from a spine standpoint, I think that's a really good mental picture to have. So then the next question becomes, does your life align with your family, align with your business, align with you? Are those things all in alignment?
No,
No?
no, they're all scattered.
All
Yeah.
that.
They need to be aligned.
I'm so glad you're here then. So we're gonna talk about some of that. And we're gonna help you gain some alignment in your life and business. Is that okay?
Yes.
Great. So you're gonna need something to write on. Now, if you don't have a journal, there are blanks on the back of a couple of the pages of the handout that you have, or you can use the little sticky notepad that I gave you. And guys, those of you who are here on Zoom, I will find your mailboxes in the office at the end of class today, and I will stick some swag in there for you too, so that we don't.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So that we don't diss you just because you're not in the room, okay? So your journal, because I'm going to ask you to take some notes. The connection in your brain when you write things down is different than if you type on a screen, on a computer screen or a tablet or a phone, and different than just hearing it. There's a synapse in the brain that gets connected when you write things down. You're more likely to recall it. And if you don't recall it, you have something to go back to and maybe look at later on. I keep a journal, if you will, of every single day in my business. And I have them marked from this date to that date. They're in my office from years and years and years and years. So I can go back and I can check out a training class that maybe I took 5 years ago. That's a big deal for me to continue because we don't always retain everything that we hear at the same time. Agreed? Okay, right.
Agreed.
Keep an open mind. I'm going to ask you to do that because you're going to hear some things today that may seem counterintuitive. I promise you, this content will benefit you. I promise it will, if you only use it. Willingness to be transparent with yourself and with us. Remember we talked jumping jacks or participate, right? Yes, that's a participation.
Yes.
Yes. We're just practicing. And then again, participate, interact. When you have a thought, when you have an idea, I want you to share it. Deal?
Deal.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good job. So our key objectives for this first portion of our class, let me tell you how this is going to break down. We're going to talk about core values in the 7 circles from the one thing during the first section. Then we're going to take a break for some lunch. We're also going to have a presentation from a home warranty rep who provides you guys with lunch. So he gets to speak for 10 minutes, okay? And tell you all about his product and service. And we'll do lunch, and then we'll finish up the day with the 7D process for you to be able to use that in your daily schedule to make the decisions as to what's going to be best for you that day, that week, that month, that year, okay? So we're going to identify core values. I want you to develop some awareness around what those are. You may be thinking about some things for the first time today. That's okay. You may decide a year from now, I'm not sure that those core values are still my core values. I want to kind of look at that again. That's okay. I was telling. Yes, Lynette. Sorry, Lynette. I was telling Lynette before that last year I discovered one of my core values was actually an aspirational value. And I switched it up a little bit because of that realization. And that happened because I continue to grow, right? Recognize the alignment that you have in all areas of your life. Or maybe recognize the places that aren't aligned, that you need the most work on. Okay. Does that sound like something that, again, would give you value for your time today?
Absolutely.
Great. Because that's the question I'm going to ask you at the end of today. Was this worth your time? Because if it's not, I need to know that so I can switch things up. Okay. Values, mission, vision. Which way are those signposts pointing?
Opposite.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right? Does that make sense? Don't I want them all kind of going the same way? But when you see a signpost, you see San Francisco, 2,000 miles, right? New York, 1,500 miles. They're in opposite directions. Well, what if I want both? So that's what we're going to be after today, is to get those lining up. What core values, and I want you to just jot some notes down. What core values impact your life, your business? So what's important to you about your business? What are you looking to accomplish in your business? What are you looking to accomplish in your company? And let me explain. You have a business, you also have a company, right? Your company is KW, of course, but it's also your company. So you have your job, your business within your company, because you're all independent contractors, right?
Yeah.
Your family. What are your core values there? What's most important to you about the values you hold within your family? And the places and people who get your time and attention. What's most important about those? We spend a lot of time with other people. Agreed?
Yes.
In our day, whether it be at work, whether it be school, whether it be family. So again, what is it that's important to you about those relationships? And are the people who are getting your time and attention worth it? You may discover today, after thinking some of this through, that there are some people getting your time and energy and effort who shouldn't be. And that's okay. Right? Great. So you have a handout. This is where we're going to start. And I want you to all take a breath to start with. Breathe deep. Let it out. Okay? It's all going to be okay. Don't freak out. So take your list of words. If you have a word that comes to mind that's not on the list, write it down. Okay? I want you to circle on your list those 15 words that speak to you the most. Or if you'd rather go the other route, you can cross off everything that doesn't speak to you. I like to circle because then I can more easily figure out what I got. Let me tell you about aspirational value versus core value. Core value is who you are. It's what allows you to breathe. So we were talking earlier, Rachel and Lynette and I, about an aspirational value that I discovered on my list about 1.5 years ago, which was gratitude. I want to be a grateful person, but it didn't keep me up at night if I wasn't. So I discovered that that gratitude was an aspirational value for me rather than a core value. My number one core value is impact. And if I don't have impact on somebody every single day of the year in a positive light, that keeps me up at night. So impact is a core value for me. Does that help? Does that make sense? So again, choose your top 15. I should have brought some Baroque music as you're writing Those brainwaves going. Keep in mind that, there's a little note here at the bottom of the slide. Everybody thinks faith and family are core values, and it very well may be. However, it doesn't have to be. Maybe your faith and your family go without saying. And you're gonna go with core values outside of those two words. Doesn't mean you can't do those two words, it just means you don't have to. Is that okay? Yeah. Okay. Your foundational, or your core values are your foundations. What is so true to you? And when you look at those words, you'll know when something really grabs you, when something speaks to you. Is that making sense as you're going through the words? Yeah. How about you guys on Zoom? Are y'all okay?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Who is that? Mm-hmm.
That was me.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna give you just a few minutes to get those 15 circles. And again, understand there is no wrong answer here, because this is about you. I can't tell you who you are, only you can do that. And just in case you missed it, there's the front and back of one page and then the front of a second page of words. And if you think of a word that comes to your mind that's not on the list, write it down and circle it. Is it harder than you thought it would be? Is it easier than what you thought it would be? How's
Harder.
harder? Harder? Choice is always hard, isn't it? We're so used to going to the grocery store and having 102 toothpastes to choose from. Which drives me nuts.
Indecisive about stuff, like when there's vendors and they're huge, I'm like, oh.
I'm the same way. The more choices I have,
Oh.
then yeah. Give me two.
But
And
I
I'm
don't
good.
want too few either.
No, no. I'm better if I have two.
Like, you know, right. And look.
Yeah, when you go to other countries outside of the US especially, and they don't have choices like we do. It's amazing the choices we have.
What if it's something that you feel like is very much like a part of you, but you want to move away from it?
Can you give me an example?
Okay, like I wrote down empathy.
Okay.
And I think in like, you know, on the best day, and being empathetic is a superpower. And on the worst day, it's, you know, so being able to like control it a little bit, not being so sensitive and empathetic.
So what I'm hearing you say, Reggie, correct me if I'm wrong, is
Mhm.
that while you appreciate your empathic
Mhm.
ability,
Mhm.
it sometimes gets in your way.
Yes.
So would you agree then that the empathic ability, bottom line, is a good thing?
Mhm.
And like you said, needs to have maybe some boundaries?
Yeah.
Does that help?
Yes, it does.
Just knowing that that is one of my core values, and
Mhm.
I need to put some boundaries around it so that I don't get taken advantage of,
Okay. Thank you.
because that is pretty special. Which just simply means that you don't watch a commercial for kiddos who need to be adopted and adopt all of them, right? Yeah.
It's the Sarah McLachlan puppies and the ASPCA.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a reason I don't work at an animal.
Yeah.
That would be my house.
So again, just boundaries, that's all.
Mhm.
I mean, I think that's probably true of any core value, that
Yeah.
it requires some boundaries, right? It requires a ceiling.
Right.
So again, impact is mine. Well, am I gonna not sleep at night so that I can go impact somebody? No,
Mhm.
because I have a boundary there.
Mhm. Yeah, you're right. I could argue like any of these taken to an extreme
You're right,
is unhealthy.
you're right, yeah, you're right. And again, just keep in mind, this is just who you are. It doesn't mean that they won't change over time, doesn't mean that you won't grow beyond them over time. Normally, at least one of your top ones will stay the same long term. Because it's a big deal. Like impact is for me. And when I realized that that was one of my top core value, then I understood why I loved the work that I had always done. Right, where I was allowed to do that. I was a teacher, I was a coach, trainer, realtor, you know, where you get to impact people on a daily basis. That was what I needed to have in my life in order to meet that core value. And until I understood that was my core value, that didn't make sense to me. It's like, oh, I'm just that outgoing. I have to have something like that. But that's not the case. How are we doing? You have your 15? How about you guys on Zoom? Do you have your 15? If anybody doesn't have your 15, take yourself off mute and say, not me. Okay, we're good to go forward then. Who wants to share one word from their 15 list that really spoke to you?
Contentment.
Contentment. Very cool. Tell me, Asha, what that means to you. Contentment.
I just want to feel from the inside I'm happy and content all the time, no matter how the circumstances are around me. I need to have that strength in me to pull myself together and then say I'm okay. I'm doing good. There are lots of people who would love to be in my position, right? But I just, no matter what, I just need to say to myself and feel that I'm doing great.
Good. That's awesome. So I'm going to ask you guys that too, because your definition of a word could be different than somebody else's. And that's another important piece of all of this, is figuring out what your words are, your values are, and how they relate to you, what they mean to you. So contentment to Asha does not mean laying on the sofa and watching daytime television all day, right? That's not contentment to her. It's the feeling that she has within herself that it's all going to be fine. It's all good.
It's all good.
Right? Reminding herself of how good it is and not letting things outside of herself inflict on that. Right? Who else will share one of their words? Thank you for that. Yes, Karen.
Adventure.
Adventure. Tell me more about that.
So every day is not the same. You're always on your toes. It's almost like on that borderline of chaos, but like you're always busy and it's never boring.
Okay. So, are you okay with chaos?
Yeah, I'm one of the, I'll operate better in chaos then.
Are you a chaos junkie?
I don't think I go out looking for it. I think it's just the nature of what I do.
So what I'm hearing, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, what I'm hearing is that you like variety.
Change, constant change.
Okay. Okay. how does that impact a long-term project that starts here and goes to here and needs to be done? How are you with that?
It usually takes a little bit longer than what I originally planned. But it always gets done. It just
Okay.
may be a couple of days or however late.
Do you need to create some variety for yourself in between?
I don't know if I need to create, it's just there.
Okay, okay, good. So it's something that's working for you then. Good. And the fact that you know that, again, from an adventure standpoint, does that have to do just with you or is that other people as well?
I think most of the people that I'm close to like everything kind of calm, which makes me get along with everybody because we're a little bit different. So.
Okay, good. Thank you for sharing that. One more. Who else will share? Please.
Serenity.
Serenity.
One of my tops too.
Yeah, I wanna feel at peace and I don't deal well with things up in the air. And yet I thrive on chaotic situations
Okay,
because I'm a problem solver.
okay,
And so like that's an adrenaline rush to me when there's a problem. So
those are pretty
one-
diametrically opposed.
yeah,
Serenity over here,
yeah.
and again, chaos you mentioned over here.
Yeah.
My question then would be, are you able to feel serene within yourself in the midst of chaos?
It's more of an adrenaline rush at the time and then that feeling of accomplishment afterwards.
Okay,
But in my own life, like not knowing where next paycheck's gonna come
I
from,
got it.
that being up in the air is incredibly stressful for me and hard for me to control.
Understood.
Mm-hmm.
So then it becomes an issue of what can you do? Like we were talking with the part-time job for a short period of time, what can you do to, again, add the serenity back into your own life while still pursuing the chaos of real estate? That's probably the best description, right? Chaos, because it is. You have 49,000 moving parts through the whole transaction. And about the time you think things are going swimmingly well, something else pops up, right? And it's your turn to problem solve again.
Yeah.
How many of you like to problem solve? How many of you feel you're good at it? That is such. How about you guys online? You feel good about your problem solving abilities?
Yeah.
I will tell you that is one of our value propositions as realtors to our clients. And they hardly ever see that. We just do it.
Right.
And then the result is good. Does that make sense? They don't
Yep.
see that from us. Right? I'm going to give you a perfect example. This last week, the property that Dee and I did the open house at, we got under contract right away, and we were done with everything. Everything was done. All the deadline dates were done, gone. And all of a sudden, I get a call from a financial institution wanting to do another inspection on the property. And I said, for what? Well, the buyer had some grant money come through that they'd applied for last month that they didn't expect. And to be able to take advantage of this grant money as part of their down payment, they had to do an inspection to make sure that the house passed safety for HUD, which was not good for my seller, right, to agree to another inspection. So I had to negotiate that out. We got that done. Then it pushed back the closing date. We had to get that figured out. So about the time I thought everything was done, not so much, right? So again, that ability to problem solve. Yes, please, go ahead. Greg?
Oh no, I was just chuckling. That was just the way it is.
Yeah, it wasn't funny at the time, believe me.
No.
I got on the phone with the lender and I could have handled that better. We'll just leave it at that. I had to call her back later and say, you know what, I owe you an apology because I did not handle that well. But anyway, do you guys see where we're going with this? Okay, now guess what the next step is? I want you to go from your 15, and I want you to, whoops, I didn't go do that screen soon enough. Here we go. Now I want you to narrow to 5. So take whatever the list that you circled or have left after crossing everything out. And I want you now to come up with the top 5. You should see your face. Hint here. And Lynette mentioned this earlier. Some of your words may be similar in meaning. So in other words, when I did mine, abundance is one of my core values. And I also have wealth. And when I realized that abundance encompassed wealth for me, as well as my mindset and some other things that I want to be abundant to. So I was able to take wealth off the table and leave abundance for that reason. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yeah.
So you have some words that connect, coincide, that won't be quite so hard to narrow your list to 5. Are you already done?
Mhm.
Good job. And out of your list of 10, maybe it would work easier to start to prioritize them in your own head. So look at your number 1 as an example. That's not going to change, right? You're going to have your number 1 going forward. Look at number 2. So now you've got your top 2. Now all you have to do is figure out the next 8, which 3 of those are going to move forward. If that helps. I also had learning and growth on my original list. And I was able to encompass both of those within each other because growing means learning for me,
Mhm.
right? So growing my mind, growing my physical ability, growing my coaching ability, my teaching ability, my ability to help a client in real estate. So that encompassed the learning for me too. A little more time, are we good? 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 Everybody?
Good.
You guys all on this one good? Can we move forward?
I am.
Okay, one last time. Now I want you to choose your top 3. And I want you to put them in order of priority. So which one is the absolute most important? And I'm going to guess, maybe I'm wrong, but I'm going to guess that for Karen, it's adventure, because that's the one you mentioned. For Diane, that was serenity, because that's the one you mentioned. And for Asha, that's contentment, because that's the one you mentioned. Maybe not, but I'm just guessing. I've been known to be wrong in the past. It's been a very long time, but it's happened. So you're going to put them in order of priority 1, 2, and 3. Now, let me also give you a hint. I could never get mine down to 5 or down from 5. So I had 5 for a very long time. Last year, I finally got it to 4. So if you can't get to 3, it's okay for now. Continue to work on that. If you can get it to 3, that's really powerful. Because now you have your top 3 core values. How are we doing with that? Everybody at 3? Yeah. How about you guys on Zoom? Are you at 3? Hello?
Getting there.
Getting there? Okay. I want to tell you why this is such a big deal. When you know what your core values are, you can start to live every area of your life around those core values unapologetically, which means you know what to say yes to. More importantly, you know what to say no to. So how many things, that's where the empathy comes in, right? That's a core value, that now I'm gonna set some boundaries. And I'm gonna say no. Now, we call it, in the one thing, we call them leveraged yeses. I can't do that for you right now, but I might be available next week on Friday at 1. Would that work for you? No, they're gonna figure it out between now and then, right? They are. So that's what we call a leveraged yes. But it's saying no and taking control back of your day, your time, your life. Otherwise, we end up doing all these things for other people all the time, and at the end of the day, going, what did I accomplish today? Yes? Yeah. And you also have to decide who to say no to. Who's in that list of priorities? So my family might get yes more often than anybody else, which I think that's something we would all agree to, right? My closest friends might be next. Maybe my church family would be third. Maybe my coaching clients would be next. You see where I'm going with that? But having a priority of who to say yes to so that I know who to say no to. Because now I've taken control of that. So, who wants to share their list? Karen, please.
So these words are catch-all, so there's a lot of synonyms packed into these words.
Perfect.
Adventure, abundance, and connection.
Cool. Those are great words. So how do those all three connect?
So the abundance could be business, it could be time with family. It also includes time, my time, work time. And then connection would be your learning, making new friends, creating connections. So it's all in that little adventure.
I love that. Do you guys see what Karen did there? She took those top 3 core values and she now understands what they mean to her. What all fits into those top 3 values. So if I were to ask you to spend your time doing something that was outside of those 3, how easy would it be for you to tell me no?
Today, not very easy.
Okay, with some practice?
Yeah, I would love to get better than that.
Okay, but you see how that works? How that can connect for you by reminding yourself. For the first couple of years, my core values were on my screensaver. So they were, every time I opened up my laptop, it just reminded me why I'm on the planet, right? So that if somebody asked me to do something outside of why I'm on the planet, I found it really easy to say no. Now, it didn't mean I had to be naughty about it. No, I mean, I could be nice about it, but I still said no. Yeah. Who else will share the top 3? Chris, please.
I've got family, health, and wealth.
Tell me more about those.
Well, I was kind of similar to what it sounded like, where you said you had 5 that you couldn't move away from, because then additionally I had security and freedom. And I think that, my number one thing is family. And then all those other ones kind of tie into it. I want job security, I want security at home for my family, my kids to be safe when they're at school. Health, obviously, I want all my family members to be healthy. I want me to be healthy. I don't want that to ever have to be a worry, as well as wealth. I think I don't want my children and their children to worry as well. And then freedom, I think freedom to be able to, be with the family when I want to, and not necessarily have to be, because I've done a lot of stuff in restaurant industries where I've been tied away from the family for holidays and things like that.
24/7.
Yes, so freedom's a big one, but at the same point, I eliminated it from my top 3. So.
And yet, I think it kind of fits in a couple of places, right? You
Yeah.
could consider wealth being freedom,
Mhm.
right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I would agree with that.
Yeah. The other thing I want you guys to think about when you're talking about your core values, how does your current life and business fit into those, right? I would guess that one of the reasons Karen was attracted to real estate is because of what she just said. I would guess, Chris, one of the reasons you were attracted to real estate, same thing. Yes?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So understanding what makes you tick and how that then benefits yourself in your current situation, whatever that might be. Excellent, thanks for sharing. Do you had your head up too, please?
Yeah, I have spirituality, career and family. It's pretty much what he just said. Well, spirituality for one, with God first, and
Amen, brother.
yeah, of course. And then second is career. Because I feel like if I can take care of myself, I can pretty much take care of my family and just being more. So yeah, that's just
Great, great. So again, does real estate, your choice to get into real estate, fit into that for you?
yeah, of course.
Yes. If you were, now I want you to ask yourself this question. If I was sitting behind a desk doing admin work all day long, does that fit in to your core values?
No.
Maybe not, and maybe that's why you're not doing that. Right?
Not at all.
Say it again?
Not at all.
Not at all. There you go. Who on Zoom will share their top 3? Please. Greg, I see you on off mute. Will you share your top 3?
My top 3 would be definitely career, security, and family.
Okay, great. So then those 3 things for you, how does that connect to real estate for you?
Well, real estate gives me the freedom to, hopefully, I'm new at
Okay,
it,
that's okay.
and getting started, staying focused on doing what I have to do, and also being able to spend more time with my family. And then, but everything for me is focused on my career, and I have a tendency to be highly driven at my own peril sometimes.
Okay, so you need some boundaries there, huh?
Oh, I would say that's definite.
Do you guys all know Greg?
Yeah.
You're all laughing. Okay, they're all laughing at that because they know you, Greg. I don't, so I'm going to trust that they know what they know what they're laughing about.
I
They
don't.
all know you're driven. In other words, cool. Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
So now that you have your top 3, what are you going to do with it?
I have no clue.
I don't know, Sue, what?
Try to move your life around.
Align
Narrow
them.
it down to one.
Yeah.
Say it again, Greg.
Narrow it down to one.
I want you to prioritize them. So you're going to have your number 1, your number 2, and your number 3. You still get to have 3, but or 4 like I have now, or 5 like I did a couple of years ago. But I also have a number 1, and that is impact. That is my biggest, most important core value. Again, if I don't have what I feel like is a positive impact on somebody on a daily basis, that causes me loss of sleep at night. It's just that important to me. It's why I teach, because I get the opportunity to have an impact on others through teaching. It's why I coach. It's why I do real estate, because I can impact a client at such a high level in one of the biggest transitions in their lifetime, right? So it's why I do what I do. And that's what your core values will help you figure out. Now, it doesn't mean that you won't change them down the road. You have the list. If you have words that come up for you maybe next week, because now your RAS is on. Do you guys know what an RAS is?
Reticular, I don't know the other ones.
Reticular activator system. It sits at the base of your brain. And basically, when you see a woman with twins, and now all of a sudden you see strollers with twins all over the place because your RAS is up, right? So now that you know your core values, your RAS is up, for you to really look at everything in your life and business as to how those connect. Right? Great. Do we need a short break?
No.
We're going to take a break at 11:30 for lunch. Are we good? I just don't want to One of my, do you guys know who Brian Buffini is? He's a coach for realtors in real estate, teaches a system of referral business. And I coached with him for a long time, and he used to say, the mind will absorb only what the butt will endure. Although I think I should have said tush instead of, but anyway, you get the gist. So if you need a break, you let me know, otherwise we're gonna move forward.
I'll just go get a
Please,
water.
please. So far, guys, is this worth your time?
Yes,
Have you learned something about yourself?
yes.
That is the most powerful lesson you can ever have.
You know, I'll share my 3 because I thought it
Please.
was kind of different and whatever. So my 3, because I didn't think I could get to 3, was
So you're already telling me you surprised yourself this morning.
yeah, well, I'm being myself. So it was abundance, humor, and intuition.
Ooh.
So abundance has lots of things. It's family, it's time, it's financial, it's parenting, it's it's a lot of things.
Yeah.
Abundance in that. Humor because when I'm sad or uncomfortable, I like to make people laugh, whether I mean to or not. But it also helps me, maybe cope with things with when there's humorous stuff or maybe
And there's very little that's not funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's I just think it breaks the ice, so it helps with a lot of things. And then intuition, just a lot of us kind of have that little, tummy feeling as I tell my kid, you just listen to it because it does kind of guide you like this. Maybe let's not do this. Let's do it this way. But sometimes we don't listen to it, and sometimes we do. So I would like that to, maybe I listen to it better, but also that fear doesn't mask it, or maybe it veers the intuition
That you don't second guess yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or that's making to make my intuition different than what it really is.
Yeah.
So, but I know those were different, but I think very kind of what everyone's saying.
I like that about the fear not masking it. Like you can't trust your instinct because fear is overriding everything.
Yeah.
Well, and I think too, I tell my real estate clients all the time, that my job, because they're emotional, would you guys agree? Clients are emotional.
Yeah.
Sellers are emotional. Buyers are emotional. Investors even are emotional, even though they say they're not. And they're only looking at the numbers, flow, need, right? They're emotional. My job is to take that emotion and justify it with some logic. So I think that's also important with your intuition. I'm going to trust my gut. And on top of that, I'm going to check on it just to make sure there's nothing there that I'm not seeing. Right? So I might say to you, Lynette, I might say, you know what? I'm feeling like this and I'm feeling really strongly about it. Tell me your thoughts around that decision. And I might get your impression just to make sure that I'm not missing something.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But I think that gut, we have it for a reason.
Yes. Yeah.
And I would even go so far, you will appreciate that. I think there's some spiritual aspect to your gut.
Yes. It does, I think, God protecting you or telling you, yay or nay. Do we listen to it all the time?
Yeah, there you go. There you go. There you go. Cool. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for adding that. I appreciate it. Great. Anybody else have anything to say before we go forward? I don't want to cut anybody off because I asked for your participation and I appreciate it. We haven't had to do jumping jacks in that. So again, how do your values align with that very first piece that you wrote down? Those places and people, right? How did those core values now that you have align with that first list that we made? That's very telling. These are mine. So impact, growth, abundance, experience. Impact I've talked about a lot. Growth for me is one of those all-encompassing words, right? Other than maybe my weight. I don't want to grow there. Actually, I do that pretty well all on my own. But growth in mindset, growth in learning, growth in relationships, right? I want growth in every aspect of my life. Abundance, again, an all-encompassing word for me. I want an abundant mindset. I want to be able to share myself, my gifts, my resources abundantly. Those are big, big things for me. And then experience. And that's a new word for me. I only discovered that as a core value about 1.5 years ago when I was at a one thing retreat, and one of the other one thing coaches looked at me and said, Sue, and he asked me a question. I went, you're right. You're right. I've never thought about that. I said, everything you're saying speaks to experience. They said, you're absolutely right. It's kind of like Karen creating adventure in her life. I want to create experience. I want to create an experience for myself. I want to create it for my family. I especially want to create it for my grands. 2 years ago, my granddaughter graduated from high school. We told our 3 grands that when they graduated from high school, my husband and I would take them on a trip anywhere in the world they wanted to go, but the catch was they had to go with us. Right? So Molly wanted to go to Paris. So we did Paris, and then we did a side trip to Normandy and did the 80th anniversary of D-Day at Normandy, which was just talk about an experience. So that hits me every time I talk about it. I get so emotional about it. Carl, our oldest grandson, graduates this year. He is a string bass player in the orchestra, and that's what he wants to do for a living, for his entire livelihood. So he's going to college, he's on scholarship to do orchestra, and he wants to do Germany, Austria, Czech Republic, and see where his favorite composers are buried. We are lovingly calling it the Decomposing Composers Tour. And being able to create that experience, not just for me and my husband, but for them. When we went to Paris with Molly, at the end of each day, we had 3 questions over dinner that we knew we were going to talk about. Number 1, what was your favorite thing today? Number 2, what was your least favorite thing today? Number 3, what did you learn? And we talked about that over dinner every single night. The conversations that we had with our granddaughter, I guarantee you, never would have happened any other way than it did that trip. That's just, I get goosebumps just talking about it. It was so special. So creating that experience, I realized is one of my core values. Can you see the excitement when I talk about it? Yeah, we're going to see Box House in Eisenach, Germany. Whatever that is. Right? We're going to see, we've been to Vienna, my husband and I have been to Vienna and seen the cemetery there. There's all sorts of composers buried there. But there are other places that we're going. And then we're going to end our tour of Germany with a little bit of World War II history and do Dachau, the concentration camp, and Nuremberg, which is where they held the trials at the end of World War II to convict all the amazingly wicked people. So again, that experience was a big deal for me. So I took a couple of words, I was able to take a couple of core values away because they were aspirational values. Like gratitude was an aspirational value for me, which I discovered kind of digging into it. I want to be grateful. I have a gratitude journal that I write in every single morning. But if I miss it, it doesn't keep me up at night. Right? So it's not really a core value, it's an aspirational value. And figuring that piece out with one of the one thing coaches 1.5 years ago was changing for me in so many areas. So have we put our arrows more in the same direction than we had before we started? Yeah. Is our signpost more like this instead of this?
Yes.
Cool. Real quickly before we move forward to the next topic, I want to ask you if you have any idea whose core values these were. They were actually on the wall of their corporate office. Integrity, communication, respect, and excellence. At their corporate office, I think it was in Houston, I believe. Anybody recognize?
So one of the writers of the one thing.
Enron.
How'd you know that? Nobody ever knows that.
Unfortunately, and I know that Enron's out of Houston.
There you go. Do you guys recognize that name? It's
Oh,
been
yeah.
the early, I think it was 2000, 2001, when Enron completely blew up. They were taking money from investors. It was a Ponzi scheme. And they didn't have the money to back it up. Not only did Enron go under and bilk their retirees out of their entire life savings, they also put an accounting firm under, Anderson accounting firm, because they were cooking the books for this company. This is what they actually had on their wall as their mission statement. We treat others as we would like to be treated ourselves. So that's why we talk alignment being such a big deal, guys. You can have core values. You can say really lovely words. You can put a great mission and value statement together for yourself and your business. But if it's not what you live, it doesn't count. Right? Not going to get you where you want to go. We do not tolerate abusive or disrespectful treatment. Only fraud. They only tolerate fraud and bilking people out of their life savings. I mean, there were retirees who were destitute. These were small investors. They didn't have the money to be able to afford to live.
And everybody from top to bottom of that company was in on it.
And a lot of them did prison time. Thank God. They should have. Right? I would have made them bald and blind. Sorry, that's just me. Ruthlessness, callousness, and arrogance don't belong here. I just think this is so hilariously funny based on who they were and what they did. It's like, really, guys? Who helped you with this? You need a coach. So our next exercise, you have this in a handout as well. These are the 7 circles from the one thing. My favorite page in the entire book, it's page 114. If I were to bring my one thing book, I don't have it with me, but the spine, I've opened it so many times to this page that section's actually removed, that it's come away from the spine. It's my favorite page 114, and it's the 7 circles, simply because we all have more to our lives than just one thing, even though we're talking about one thing. Look, right? You guys ever see the movie City Slickers? Jack Palance? Life's about one thing with his crooked finger, and it's your job to figure out what that one thing is, right? I love that line from that book. And that's actually listed in the one thing book as well. So we're going to start at the top circle, which says what? My spiritual life. The authors of the book believe that we are spiritual beings having physical journeys. So we have to deal with the spirituality in our life, and that's number 1. Okay? Everything else stems from there. Then we're going to go clockwise. Number 2 is what?
Physical health.
Physical health. Somebody had health on their, was that you, Chris?
Yep.
Yep. Health on their core values. It's hard to do anything if you're not feeling good. Would you guys agree with that? Jeff Woods, who used to be the president of Productive, the One Thing company, always said, we have one body and we have to live in it. Right? So what are you doing to take care of your body? Your physical, and I think also that comes down to mental and emotional health as well. What are you doing to take care of yourself? How are you pouring into you so that you in turn can pour into someone else? Number 3 is what? Your personal life. Again, if my spirituality is good, my health is good, and I'm whacked, nothing else is going to be good, right? So I need to make sure that I'm taking care of me when? First. And that is so counterintuitive to our culture, especially, and I'm going to say this, guys, especially as women. Women have been taught since they were knee high that you are concerned about everybody else. Always. Over and above, right? That's what we're taught. So we do that, and then all of a sudden, we have issues. So you've got to take care of yourself first. Again, if you don't have anything to pour out into others, what good are you? So I got to have myself filled up first. And in the one thing, and again, this is going to sound really counterintuitive, when you go to plan your schedule, you put in your personal stuff first. How counterintuitive does that sound? I'm going to put in my time first. So when am I working out? What's the thing that brings me joy that I'm doing? When are my vacations? When are my adventures, right? I'm putting that stuff in first. Then you put in your one thing, which whatever that is, generally speaking, in business, it's what? What's your first one thing in business, in your real estate business? The first thing that if you accomplish, everything else becomes easier or unnecessary.
Lead gen.
Thank you. Lead gen. That's our number one. Almost always number one thing in real estate is generating leads. Correct?
Yes.
Because once I have leads, if I have 100 leads, chances are I'm going to have some business. Yes. Chances are I'm going to close some of that business. Yes. And then chances are good I have food with my meals. Yay! Yay! Right? So it's your one thing goes in next. So that would be my lead gen time. And then the third thing that goes into your planner is planning time. So we plan to plan, right? I have planning time on Sunday afternoon for about 30 minutes. And I'm setting up my week. I'm sending email reminders to all of my clients that we have coaching calls that next week and what time. And what their last issues were that we're going to be talking about this time. What their commitments were that we're going to be talking about, right? So I do that planning on Sunday afternoon. Once a week, once a month, I have a Saturday for an hour to look at my next month. So the Sunday is for a week. The Saturday for a month. And then, this was based on a Realtor that I worked with at Century 21 years ago. And he and his wife had a sabbatical every year where they took 2 weeks and they went someplace fun and they spent 1 week on vacation and the other week was planning their next year. Which I think is brilliant. So it's like a sabbatical where you're planning for the next year, right? Zig Ziglar says if we fail to plan, you might as well plan to fail. Right? So those are the three things. Now we put a lot of other stuff in our schedule, right? But when you handle those three things first and get that done for your personal life, you're good. What's the next circle?
Key relationships.
Key relationships. I put a diagonal line through this circle and I put business on one side and personal on the other because I have key relationships just as I'm sure you do in both. Who are your key relationships in your business? I'm asking. Tell me who your key relationships are in your business.
Clients.
Clients. Coach. Yay, love that. Who else? Your team. Yep. Who else? Key relationships.
Vendors.
Lender. Yes. Who else?
Vendors.
Vendors, like your contractors, right? How about title right? Right? Those are key relationships in your business. Who are key relationships in your personal life?
Family and friends.
Yep. Yep. And specifically, maybe first would be a significant other. Yes. I'm going to say that for you, Chris, since we know Elizabeth is listening, right?
Smart. I like that.
Where'd she go?
She just turned her camera off.
Very.
Teddy was probably calling her for sure.
Recorded, so she can.
Yes. I'll make sure to record them.
I would like to know.
There you go. There you go. That's exactly right, too. Good job. Go to the Yeah, hear what I said about you, hon. So again, key relationships in your personal life. And again, it could be family, it could be friends, it could be a relationship you have with, one of my coaches I consider is my pastor. He helps me in my spiritual growth, right? He's a key relationship for me. So figuring out who those key relationships are on both sides of that circle. Next, what's it say?
For my job.
For my job. What's the next one say? For my business. What's the difference? There's the best managing broker in the world.
And his cute mouse.
Yeah, there's Mac.
Seriously. Bob has saved
Talking about
my
Mac. Yeah.
Bob has saved my bacon. With situations you think after 30 years you'd no longer see a situation that you hadn't seen before, not true. I've had 3 in the last 2 years that he has saved my bacon on. He's brilliant. We are so lucky to have him. Sorry, I just. Okay, so what's the difference between job and business?
Well, you're responsible in whole for your own business. Your job may be somebody else's final responsibility.
Okay? Everybody hear that, understand that, agree with it? Yeah, I think there's some truth to that. So my business, let's say I'm the CEO. Are you the CEO of your business? Sure you are. Yeah, so I'm the CEO of my business, which requires me to do A, B, C, D, E. I need to know what my P&L says. I need to know what my budget is. I need to know where my financials are. I need to see where's my org chart. How are my people doing, right? So as the CEO of my business, however, I also have a job within my business. I'm the Realtor. So I deal with clients. Does that make sense, guys?
Yes.
Oftentimes people get real confused with what's the difference between my job and my business. Even if you had something outside of the 1099, a subcontractor kind of role, if you were actually working for a company, ABC Corp, you still have a business because you have a role within that business that you fill for the company. And then you have a job. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yes.
Okay, good. I just want to make sure. And then for my finances, this is another circle I put a diagonal line through because I want to know my business finances and my personal finances. My business budget should fund my personal budget. Agreed?
Yes.
That's the way it's supposed to work. We don't commingle all of our funds in one account and pay our bills out of that and pay our taxes out of that and. One of the best pieces of advice I ever got in real estate happened the first year I was in the business. So 30 years ago, and it's still true. Hi there. How are you?
I'm well, how are you?
Great, thanks. Thanks for joining us.
Yes, thank you.
Ryan was on earlier.
Yeah, I was
okay.
listening on Zoom.
I'm glad you're
Wanted me to fill that
he
too.
was all concerned that he wasn't gonna get the swag, so he showed up. I just want you guys to know that. Now we have that.
I heard that, I was like, I gotta get it.
You just wanted to do jumping jacks with everybody else.
Yeah.
That's where it is.
The little workshop.
So again, financial, how often do you visit your business budget? How often do you visit your personal budget?
Neither as much as I should.
Monthly is the answer, minimum monthly. Maybe when you're first starting, it's weekly, right? I talked to I'm sorry, I have so many stories and they kind of come in as they come in. I have a coaching client in California, she's right outside of San Francisco, she's a realtor in San Francisco. And she, high producing, she netted $277,000 last year in her real estate business. That's a pretty good net. Now that's after expenses. When I asked her, I said, so where are your expenses? $35,000. I said, what in the world, girlfriend? How are you doing that? All database. All referral, kind of client, all database. She takes care of that database. Right? But that's what I mean by knowing what your budget is. Knowing your numbers. I don't care what business you're in, if you don't know your numbers, you're in trouble. Right? Again, I was going to tell you one of the best pieces of advice I ever got was to, every time I had a commission check come in, take 25% off the top, put it in a separate account for taxes. That way, when the quarterlies came due, all I had to do was write a check from that account. I didn't have to worry about where the money was going to come from. I still do that to this day. I have a tax account. Right? So those finances, and that's where a lot of us fall. I'm not sure if people get intimidated by it. When you look at it as a means to an end, if those numbers are looking good, that means a lot of things in my life. It means I can go have another experience. Right? Cool. Does that all make sense? Now, what's in the middle of all the circles? What is that question? Read that out for me.
What's the one thing I can do such that by doing it, everything else will be easier or unnecessary?
That's what we call the focusing question in the one thing. And it's all about figuring out each circle and then figuring out what we call a lead domino. So what's my very first step to make sure that I'm taking care of my physical health. Maybe it's exercise. Maybe it's tracking what I put in my mouth. Maybe it's food prep once a week so that I'm not tempted to go past Wendy's and eat the entire kids menu, right? Does that make sense? So it's figuring out what my lead domino is. Now you're going to do that in each circle, and we're going to start that today. Because I want you to leave today with a plan in at least one of the circles that you're going to choose that you can go start to implement. Okay? Also, I want to break the question down. One thing, not 49, one. Right? Keep that in mind. One. That's an easy number. One. That I can do. So it has to be something that you are capable of. I think maybe I would be a good brain surgeon, but I'll bet you none of you would hire me to work on your brains because I'm not qualified. So I can't. Does that make sense? It has to be something you can do. Number 3, it's an action. Doing it. I've been reading the difference between the knowing and the doing. Right? We may know something, but we still don't do. So what's the gap there, the knowing to the doing gap that I need to fill in order to actually get something done? So there's an action we're doing. And then the last part, everything else could be easier or unnecessary. How good does that sound when you have 49 things on your daily plan? Oh gosh, that's not necessary. That just got done over here. That could get done by somebody else, and we're going to talk a little bit about a plan there at the very end of our class today. Okay? So, in looking at that, I want you to take your 7 circles. You have this graphic, and I want you to give yourself a number between 1 and 10. 1 meaning, oh my gosh, I haven't even started that. 10 meaning, I'm perfect. I could teach everybody else how to do this. Or whatever number you choose in between. I want you to give yourself a number, a ranking in each one of the circles. Now, when it comes to those 2 circles that I told you, finances and relationships, where you have the diagonal line, do that overall. So overall key relationships, overall finances. What ranking would you give yourself?
So we're ranking.
So if you were to look at your physical health, Lynette, how would you rank yourself between 1 and 10? 10 meaning you're perfect.
Okay.
If you look at your spirituality, how would you rank yourself? 1 to 10. If I look at my finances, how would I rank myself? 1 to 10. We're going to take just a few minutes for that because I think this, based on stream of consciousness that you're going to do this in, it's not going to take you long. You're going to know. When you're done with your ranking numbers, then I want you to connect them in the circle. So you're going to connect, you're going to draw a line between spirituality and what's the next one? Physical health. You're going to draw a line between those 2 numbers. So pretend that the middle of your 7 circles is 0. And I think I wrote a 0 in there, right? And the outside of the circle is 10. Now, and you gave yourself a 5, then you're going to go midway, right? Does that make sense? And you're going to draw a line between each one of the circles. Am I explaining that okay, guys? Yes?
No, maybe can you explain it one more time?
Let me just draw it just because I think it's easier visually. So if I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 circles, here's 0, and I rank myself on spirituality as a 6, and I rank myself physical health as a 2, and the next one I rank as a 5. Now I'm going to draw a line connecting those rankings. Can you guys see that over there? See what I just drew up? I'm going to draw a line in between each one of my rankings to see where I'm at on the whole circle. And chances are good you won't end up with a circle. It's going to have a flat tire somewhere, right?
Do you go from 6 to 5 to 2? Is there an order in which you,
You're just gonna start at the top.
okay,
And so again, if this is spirituality, and I ranked myself a 6.
mm-hmm,
And then on physical health, I ranked myself a 2. So there's my 2 number, because this is 0, this is 10. And then on this one, personal life, I rank myself as a 5. Here's 0, here's 10, so I've got a 5. Then I'm going to draw a line connecting each one of my rankings. Does that make sense?
like how far you are from 0 in between, I
Yep,
think.
so that's a 6, that's a
That's a
2, this is a 5. And let's say the next one I'm a 9 because I'm just rocking it. And the next one I'm at 7 because I'm not doing too bad there. The next one I'm at 1, and the next one I'm at 5. So now I have this.
Is the goal to be a circle?
Well, the goal would be to be all 10s, right?
Yeah,
I'm not sure how realistic that ever is in our lives, but that's the goal,
that makes sense.
right? You know, the goal here is just to know where you're at now.
Right, yes.
That looks really weird, doesn't it? Kind of looks like, what state does that look like? People who come into the training room go, what were they working on there? So how is your circle?
Rectangular?
Rectangular? Yeah. Are there areas in your circle where you're doing pretty good on?
Yes.
Yeah. Are there other areas in your circle where you're not?
Yes.
That could use some improvement. Now what I want you to do is I want you to choose 1. How many?
One.
1. How many? One circle first. We're going to choose 1 circle first that you want to work on. You can either look at the circle where you have the most going on and work to get it even better. Or maybe you want to go to a circle that you think is really necessary, it's low, and it's really necessary to get better at. So let's say my health is at a 2. I'm probably going to go there first because that's the place I can make the most impact on myself and everybody else, right? By increasing my good health. If I'm looking at spirituality, maybe I'm already at an 8, and I decide I'm going to work on something else because I'm okay there. I'm okay for right now there. But you get to decide. Do I spend my time first? This is only first. You can work on the other circles later. But I'm going to choose 1 to start with that I want to work on to start with. Who will share what their circle is that they're going to start to work on? Rachel, please.
I'm gonna say both business and personal finances.
Okay, so you're going to work on your finance circle
Finance,
first.
yes.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Who else? First. Okay.
For my job, lead gen.
Okay, so you're going to work on your job, and you've already decided that your lead domino is going to be lead gen. Cool, you're 1 step ahead of us. Good job. Okay, who else?
Same business.
So you're working on your business? Great. Everybody have 1 circle?
Yep.
Tell me your name again.
Ryan.
Ryan, I'm sorry.
No worries. Mine is for my business as well.
Okay, perfect. Dee, what'd you end up with?
Finance, same thing.
Perfect.
Spiritual life?
Good. Lynette, how about you?
Well, the 2 I had would be the physical health and I guess finances.
Okay, how many did we say to choose? So if you had to choose only 1, what would it be? If upon pain of death you had to choose only 1, what would it be?
I guess health.
Okay, and you're not saying I'm doing health at the exclusion of the other, you're just saying I'm doing health first. That's all. You can work on the other one next. Then let me ask this
I need to
question.
be alive to do
Between your health and your finances, where would you see the biggest impact on yourself and others to start
private health.
with? Okay,
Yeah. Those are the big-
and then you can do finances next. Okay, you're just going to start with health because we're going to start with how many?
1.
Because the book is called
One
Okay. See how it all works together? Imagine that. So now you have your circle. What's the first thing you could do in that circle that would cause other things to be easier or unnecessary? Diane had the perfect answer here, right? Her circle is her job. Her lead domino is, say it again, lead gen. That's her lead domino. And we're going to talk more about that. We're gonna narrow that down too. She has lead gen as her lead domino. Okay? So on your first circle that you're gonna work on, what did you decide your lead domino is? What's your first step?
Same as hers.
Same.
Lead gen?
Yeah.
Lead gen? Mark, if you're listening, you have done such great work. Good job. Let Mark know that that's at 11:26. That's awesome, guys. That is exactly. And then we'll talk about narrowing that down, right? Lead gen means what, starting what, right? But we'll talk about who else had different places or different circles they were working on. Rachel, what'd you have?
That review, categorize, highlight monthly expenses. So, there's this exercise I've been wanting to do is taking 3 different color highlighters and.
Are you talking about red, yellow, green?
Yes. Yep, exactly.
Cool beans.
Yep.
Okay, so you're gonna red, yellow, green your expenses.
Yes.
Superb. Who else has their lead down? Chris.
I put get back to church because we've just had a lot going on and haven't been making it, and so I think that's the first step for our spiritual life.
So your first lead domino then is to attend a church service when?
Sundays.
This
This
Sunday? Okay. Do you see where we just narrowed that down? There's
Yep.
your lead domino. I'm gonna be in church this Sunday. At what time?
Yeah.
And do you know where?
Yep.
Okay. You already know, yeah.
I should hopefully.
Okay. Good job. Who else? Lead domino.
Mine was for business, but I guess it's like the same lead gen, strengthen my sphere of relationships. So like lunch dates, stuff like that, going out.
Okay, so
Hours.
what I'm hearing you say then is contacts,
Yeah, right.
okay, which is lead gen, right?
Okay.
It's making contacts.
Yeah.
It's not just phoning and listening to a message, it's contacts.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So voice to voice, belly to belly, toe to toe, right?
Yeah.
I like the belly to belly. Everybody understand where they're at now. So you've got your lead domino in your circle. Lynette, tell me what that face means.
I don't know, I think it's finance.
You know what? I think you're right. I think you're right. If you keep going back to that, that probably is where you need to start. So if it were finances, what would your lead domino be?
To make money, I don't know, I don't know, there's lots of, I think just trying different things.
So to add income to your balance sheet, is that what I'm hearing you say?
Well, yeah.
And in order to do that, what do you need to do?
Um,
You have to get it all the way down to the lead domino. Real quickly, I'm going to tell you my lead domino story. I teach a class called Put On Your Shoes. And it's all about how I first figured out my lead domino in my health circle. When I very first certified for the one thing to become a coach and a trainer back in 2017, the exercise they had us do was just this. And I had to choose a circle, I chose health. And then I had to figure out a lead domino, which I thought was 5,000 steps before 7 a.m. every morning. That was my lead domino. And then we had to do what we call a 66-day challenge, because that's the sweet spot to develop a new habit. 66 days, again, according to research, according to the One Thing book. So for 66 days, I did 5,000 steps prior to 7 a.m. And on the 68th day, I skipped. And then I skipped on the 69th day. And on the 70th day, I figured out I didn't have a habit after all. And the reason was because I had started at domino 18 instead of domino 1. I started all the way up here and forgot all the steps in between that would make things easier or unnecessary. So I went back to my 66-day challenge And my lead domino, I discovered, I'm a morning person, so I don't have an issue getting up in the morning. I don't need to go to bed earlier. I don't need to set an alarm. I mean, those might have been my lead dominoes, but they weren't for me because I don't have that issue. What I did understand finally was that when I rolled out of bed, put my feet over the bed, onto the floor, if my shoes were right there, I stepped into my shoes because I wore what I was going to work out in the night before, because I learned that. So I put my shoes on, I was out the door. So my lead domino is putting on my shoes. It could be that simple for you guys. I want you to understand that. Okay. I know that sounds so stupid, but it's true. That's how I got there. So, what action step are you going to take in that circle? Starting when? What's your action step? Remember, we have to do according to the focusing question, right? Such that by doing it. So, what's your action step?
Driving to church on Sunday at 10 a.m.
Okay. What could you do prior to that point, Chris? Because that's not till Sunday.
Tell my wife that we're going to church.
Okay. What else could you do prior to that? Is it
Uh,
on your calendar?
no, I can put it on my calendar.
If it's not on your calendar, it doesn't exist,
That's for sure.
right? So maybe that's your lead domino. It's putting church. And now I'm going to protect it, right? I'm going to protect that time block, that slot. I'm actually going to go do that. Does that make sense?
It does, absolutely.
Good. Who else? What's your action step?
Mine is printing out my statements.
Perfect.
It's like the least thing I want, like the last thing I want to do. But then I actually have to do it.
Now you're aware, right? Yeah. Now that I've seen it, I can't unsee it. Wish I could.
So relatable.
And maybe part of the domino for you, Rachel, would simply be to work your mindset to the point where you understand what knowing your finances is going to do for your entire life. There's a great book, guys. I would so highly recommend it. Actually, he's written two that are my favorite. The author's name is Keith Cunningham. He wrote a book called The Ultimate Guide to an Insanely Successful Business. And it's all financial, but this guy is hilariously funny. It's a fun read. He also wrote one of my favorite books, which is called The Road Less Stupid. And it's all about how he lost over $100 million during the recession. And with the lessons he learned from those losses, how he earned it all and some back after the fact. They're brilliant books. Brilliant books.
What was it?
The
Yeah.
Ultimate Guide to an Insanely Successful Business. I have actually coaching clients on scripts from these books. I had an attorney on the East Coast, an estate attorney, who had receivables that were way out of whack. A lot of people owed him a lot of money. He wasn't collecting on it because he wasn't asking. And so we came up with a script for him from this book. When he first set up a new client, part of the script was, please understand, I am not a bank. When I do the work, you pay me. I am not a bank. Worked wonderfully well for him.
And what's his name?
The author, Keith Cunningham. Cunningham. I should get a residual for every time I recommend him. He is rumored to be the rich dad in Rich Dad Poor Dad. He's never owned up to it, but he's rumored. And I just spread that rumor, haven't I? So now you have your circle and your lead domino and an action step, right? Now what we have to do is put a date on it. So when are you going to start?
Right now.
Yeah, how soon we can put that on your calendar?
I didn't want to interrupt the class, so I was waiting till we break.
We're breaking here in just a bit.
Perfect.
How soon can you start? And if you have something that is ongoing, like lead gen, what if you did a 66-day challenge? There is a calendar that you can actually print out from the One Thing resources, and it's called the 66-day challenge calendar. And it lists all the days. It's really fun. If anybody in the room likes to check off things when you do your to-do list, you like to check them off, I'm a recovering addict of that. I learned from the one thing that I need to have a success list and not a to-do list, right? However, checking things off was kind of my jam. In fact, so much so that I would do something that I hadn't written down, and I would write it down so I could check it off. Yeah, I guess I'm not alone. Thank you guys. The calendar allows you to X out the days as you do it every day. And the goal, and I'm not saying you have to be perfect right off the bat, you might miss a day. The goal is not to miss 2 in a row. Right? And really to track yourself. And the accountability kind of builds in with checking off the days. Right? I have a 66-day challenger behind my desk in my home office that I've checked off days as I have the new 66-day challenge.
Where is that again?
It's in the One Thing resources. So if you go to the onething.com and then go to the resource tab.
Okay.
And if you guys have a hard time finding that, email me. You've got my email address on the sticky pad as well as the pen. Email me and I will send you a link. Okay? Because there are a lot of free resources there. And that challenge calendar, you have to print it out on ledger paper, by the way. It doesn't print out on legal size, it's ledger size. So it's big, which is kind of cool.
That's cool, yeah.
And so then at the top, you put what circle you're working on, you put your start date, and then you start to track.
It's the 66-day challenge.
Calendar, yep,
Calendar.
cool. And our last step is who's our accountability partner? Oh, everybody just went. Guys, that's not a bad word, I promise. Being accountable to somebody else generally works for us really well. We tend to do better when we've committed to somebody else than we do when we commit to ourselves. For whatever reason, that's true. So who's your accountability partner? Do you want to do each other? Do you have a coach that you could ask? Who's your accountability partner? To make sure you're on track with your one thing. Anybody have any ideas? Diane?
Maybe my daughter.
Okay. Will she hold you accountable?
And so,
Will she be
with holding grandsons, that would be.
okay, I'm just saying, will she be
Margaret.
Yes, she will.
Margaret's a great
Mm.
great idea. And I know she'd do that for you, right? And you don't need somebody to hold you accountable to your calendar. You can check off the days. But maybe you want accountability to check in once a week, right? How'd you do with your one thing this week, Mom? What got in your way, right? Or you did them all, good job, fist pump, right? Yeah. So having that accountability piece tends to be the secret sauce in every goal we have. I have coaching clients who are very successful business people. And remember the lady I just told you about who had $277,000 in net income last year with $35,000 in expenses? That's pretty successful, pretty doggone good business. And when we got to talking about her pipeline, it was really lucky. And so I said, okay, what's up? What you gonna do? She had her steps that she was gonna do. And I said, great, who's gonna hold you accountable? She said, I'm not sure. And I said, I'm happy to do that for you if you'd like to. She goes, that would be a great idea. It would be really hard for me to tell you that I screwed up. Good. So she's just simply gonna text me. We started on Monday. She's gonna text me starting Monday every day. She's got a goal of 30 calls for the week, which is pretty doable. But she's also doing a whole bunch of other stuff, closing business and yada yada. But 30 calls for the week. And she's gonna text me every day and she's got her goal in. Pretty simple, right? Great. I was expecting lunch by now.
I would agree with you. Let me go see anything.
That's okay. We can. I still think we get a little bit of a break, even if we don't have lunch yet. Do you guys agree? Yeah. And then we are going to get into the 7D process. That's how we're going to finish up today after lunch. Because you're going to end up with some additional information that's going to help you with your scheduling and your planning and your time blocking. I've been using this system. It came out, they first presented it to us in November. And I've been using it for a while. I used it every day. Now I've gotten to the point where I can pretty much do a couple of times a week. And it's working for me. It's brilliant, just brilliant. And it's actually called 7 Ds, but there's actually 8, so I've got bonus for you. Cool,
You might be running late because I don't see him anywhere.
okay.
So.
Elizabeth, are you there?
Do you know?
Do you have a way to contact him?
I can contact her to get him,
Okay, great.
and we'll go from there.
Let's take a break anyway, guys. It's 20 till, let's take at least 10. Make some phone calls if you need to, use the facilities if you need to, and then figure out what's going on with lunch.
He's here.
Oh, cool. Then let's break for lunch. Perfect timing.
Yeah,
Those of you on Zoom, we're breaking for lunch. We'll look forward to seeing you in 20 minutes to finish up. Thank you. I don't know why I yell at Zoom. That just is so stupid.
You have mannerisms like my best friend's mom. And she passed away a year, but she was a substitute teacher and just the most amazing person ever. She had been on second mom.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
so
awesome.
yeah, you remind me of her.
That's really nice. You too. How's it going?
It's going pretty good. I still focus on education. I just started focusing on reading.
Okay.
Maybe phone calls, you know.
Good.
Sorry, but I've never done stuff like that. So.
Well, a lot of times you've never done something and then you do it, and then you master it, and right?
Yeah, that's true. I definitely have mastery, yeah. Yeah, but I'm just starting to realize how hard it is.
What kind of weekend are you?
Just phone calls, that's all I'm doing right now.
Where are you phoning?
I have this system called Vocal Center.
Okay.
I just got it off
What is the dialer?
It was yes.
Okay.
It gives me like thousands of numbers every morning from first time phone buyers to expired instantly.
Okay. Okay.
So I mean, a lot of the phone calls are not callers, but they're all phones, you know, numbers that are not on there. So I usually call, but I haven't had any luck.
Not luck. A lot of it is just simply doing it until you get something.
Yeah, yeah, and I have to find a nice script too, because right now I kind of don't have a script. Because I haven't found a nice one that actually works. I kind of just been going, you know, over my head and stuff like that, but that's not a good idea. I need to find a script.
So these are people then who have already identified themselves as either wanting to buy or sell. Is that right? So they've already identified themselves needing a real plan.
Yeah.
Okay. What value do you present to them that is unique to you? That would be something you could put into the script.
I don't know if I could put it into the script. I guess it's just like lying on my brain. I don't know if I into the script over there. A lot of times
We was still pretty close to make it from on there to here.
Yeah, I was on Zoom just yeah, yeah, I was doing all kinds of running around. I forgot that it was this. I didn't realize it was on the calendar, so I seen it. I was like, oh shit. I was already out driving for regulars, and I started to look at zombies.
Is that what you're doing?
Right now to make money in between, and then
Exactly. My daughter is just very, because I was just telling her.
Okay.
I've been on.
Yes.
Last term. Yesterday. And so, yeah, I'm stressed. And so I'm looking at doing medical assembly.
I mean, honestly, if you're just looking to do it, just like I think I'm good out, so just do that. I'm gonna take that with that part of that.
Yeah.
I'm doing like just days a week and sometimes like 8 to 10 hours, but it really does like help me. It's been kind of my days feel like it's just stay on this.
How much like you see you make a week?
If you push like if you do barely, if you do 40 hours at least, should be in like the 900 to 12,000 at the bare minimum. And that's just depending on like what's going on right now. Baseball's gonna start up, so not gonna do that. But I do more like the commuter hours, so I start at like 5, 6 in the morning to roll them to
Yeah, cause she was doing, she went up north for a while, she's like, the campus was too much, like, I'll get around, like, campus. Yeah.
Fort Collins.
And let them talk.
Because I was finding people, that was hard.
Yeah, probably, but I can see that, but if you do like the day and stuff, when they're going to school and stuff like that, it's really easy. It's not gonna see stuff, cause I'm not familiar with it, so.
Yeah.
Sometimes when-
I'm not going to be afraid.
First
But my next door, so I have a challenger. My next door neighbor is an officer.
You know what, I wasn't, yes.
One night, on his way home, he works like more nights. He was like these guys, like, tried to run him off the road. Take this truck, and I'm like, every night coming home, like, morning, it's not something.
Bless your heart.
That's
But
what
we're
I. I started, so like my schedule.
Start, are you like, you stay like one location?
Now,
So you stay like kind of in a certain area where you're not like using tons of gas.
So, I just go until I hit my goal, so my goal is like 200 day after day minimum. I try to really honestly hit my goal in gas, so it's like, so I can love it, it's like, like my goal for that day is like 200. So that way I'm hitting 200 and I'll get like one spin back. But you kind of gotta look out and say 8 hours. For sure that you can try to get, and that's depending on the day. Sometimes like you work 8 hours and you barely break 200. But sometimes you work 8 hours and you freaking almost make 5. It's just kind of. But typically what I would like to do is I'll start from 5 and I'll go to 10, maybe 11. Cause you can try to always get like a little airport.
you're fine.
But there, typically you get one back, which kind of helps out.
It reminds me of Barbara, that's why.
Oh, yay, love that.
Like I'm lunch too.
She's awesome.
So then I'll.
She gives me a lot of information. Sometimes I have to write it down so I can process it all at one time.
Yeah, she's a smart woman.
Turn it back on and go for a couple hours until I hit my goal. And then I'm typically done by like. Now, because
I am, I'm Sue.
Sue.
Pleasure to meet you. As soon as they come back in, if you have 10 minutes, will that work?
Yeah, can I get my slides up and make sure they're working real good?
And
then if
You can.
do you have a laptop?
I do.
Okay.
So just go connect to your Zoom
Okay.
and then run from there.
Well, I'm just saying, I've got my slides on right now, and I just want, I don't wanna mess that up. So let me find Chris, who's our tech guy, and he'll figure that out. And then we'll figure out how to get that.
You sure?
I will do that. We so appreciate it.
That's what doing.
We had, at one point, we had 5.
Just it's.
They made me bring them for lunch too. And then we had 8 in the morning.
It's probably good.
And you do home office?
Yep.
So, we're I feel a lot, and the previous sales rep was sick for about a year and a half, and really couldn't do a whole lot, so. We're 48 states, number 1 license bureau rate in the country, and. Yeah, so we do 14-month choose your own contractor warranty. Local call center or US-based call centers.
Okay.
So.
Do you actually cover things after the fact?
Yeah, so we are,
Oh, I got that issue?
yeah, where it gets denied or.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have
In the,
3
oh,
ways to kind of help with the pre-existing conditions. Our seller's listing being converted to a buyer's. Because we pay about 92% of the claims.
Okay.
The 8% we get all our general fund pre-existing condition.
Yeah.
And so the seller's coverage being on the property helps
And then you can submit the home inspection for undetectable pre-existing
My
conditions.
daughter's brother-in-law, they just had a baby almost at the exact time you guys did, and she's sleeping all night now too.
Oh, that's great.
So
Yeah.
we really do try
Yeah,
to.
it's,
fix these things really-
It's definitely been very,
Because that's the-
very much a blessing having you. And it's been so easy. It's just a baby.
Yeah, that's right, you know, it's.
With everything else going on, you need a baby,
Exactly.
you know?
You go set up his slides?
Yes.
Well,
I don't wanna mess what we've got and screw up his.
So I thought I could just connect via Zoom.
And then I can add you as a co-host and you can be able to share and then.
Oh, perfect,
Yeah, that's what I was.
thank you, sorry to interrupt your
No,
lunch.
you're fine, you're fine.
Chips are ready.
No. That's getting my.
Okay. So I'll just wait for you to hop on, once you hop on, wait for you also, yeah, we shouldn't have any issues. So yeah, we do what you're gonna need.
Alright, either lack of Greg, like legal friends, we'll see. I don't know. The one was fine. And then the dad's like a brown over. It was pure brown, pick, I think he's a rednecks. He would be good. That. Yeah, we don't really know. Yeah.
I said.
So I just need
Yes.
I think we're gonna be able to say. That's what happened to those in
Nothing might out for you. This I know, but. Oh, you know what? It's right there.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Really got.
Yum.
Those days, we're all that now. So, I decided to go somewhere. Basketball team decided that.
Not in that time. Yeah, it's funny because I tell people, I absolutely love doing taxes. In fact, I went to the H&R Block school to do taxes. And like I used to, oh my god, I couldn't wait to get all my stuff together back in the day before computers, and I go down to the library and get all my forms and fill everything out. Like it was like, I was so excited to do taxes. Like with my personal finances, I've had a spreadsheet that I've been using since 2007. I can tell you, debit card transaction I have done since 2007. So if somebody was murdered and I was investigated and they said, where were you? There you go. Since
The finance officer is not your issue, that's
right, but with the business it's harder because like just starting, like how do you? I don't have somebody to allocate anything, right? So it's not like I can say, okay, I've done a budget like this, I barely. Yeah, I've been on, I was telling him, I've been on unemployment since last August.
Okay.
Which freezes me.
Yeah, and that's so typical, so normal, so don't feel like you're by yourself there. And there are things you can do, so again, the agenda here we don't know. What lead strategy would you employ? How is it expires in so what's your strategy?
For me, I need to start doing at least an open house a week.
That enough?
No.
Okay.
So then with lead gen, what I'm doing is. Cause been telling Margaret, like, I've got a lot of people like in my database, right? I've got like over a hundred.
No, I would.
But a lot of our Facebook people, I always consider us best friends, like I'm not, if I call them up, you know, you in high school. Or
But you know, they know you it's called.
Some.
How many of the hundreds, whatever, know you if you call?
I'm gonna say. Let's just cut it off now. Because what I've been doing is like, I contacted 2 people. Yes, there's 3 people that I want to meet with. One, she's entitled, so she knows what kind of people. But I'm meeting another friend, setting up a time to meet with her home Saturday night. And so I want to start like talking to people and like, hey, how are you doing? And then from there, then
It's for it, so.
hey,
Yeah.
we should meet for coffee, we should meet, you know, in the process of that. It is like Margaret said, like, you're like, how are you doing? And then they say what they're doing, oh, what are you doing? And then dropping it. Not like, hey, we should meet, I'm not a real estate person, you know, it's like, we should go catch up. And trying to strengthen those relationships.
How long is, how long have you had your license?
Now.
Since 2008.
Okay.
I've yet to do it.
Okay, and what have you done in real estate since 2018? Have you done education? You've already done your CPA credits, right?
Yeah, so my thing is really trying to back off, because we talked about this the other day with Margaret. I'm one of those people that I want to know everything before I start moving, and instead of just do it. So I'll do like training. Eating and stuff, so learning, like one of the things I made, like on Canva was this month, I figured I love Starbucks. My dad bought a lot of people at Starbucks when he used to go, he was 90. And so my QR code is on there, but it doesn't work.
Can I give you a suggestion? Yeah. As to how you might generate leads right away while enjoying your Starbucks? There you go. No, that's not it.
One of the parents is.
The lid fell. Oh, there it is.
There you go.
Plus, but obviously, I was if you're like
Yeah, laminated, sheet.
Okay.
That says, ask me about real estate. It's on the back of your laptop. Starbucks, set up your laptop and have your coffee, which you would do anyway.
Right.
And let people come and ask you questions.
Exactly.
You know.
About real estate.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, let's practice. But if they ask you a question, you don't know the answer.
Very good sweet games, like we got 3 games. So I would just make sure you're always on the way down. And then you have your system.
It's not the opposite thing.
And then let me get back to you, what's your.
Now, I can get back to you by next, whatever day, by 5 o'clock, if that will be. And then exceed that expectation by doing it for the job. I start to set some things in their mind.
Okay.
You don't need to know everything. I've been in business 34 years almost, and I don't know everything.
Cause I worked in I first can't, so, you know, and that's what I mean, like, that.
Oh, really? So if you go down this hallway,
I mean,
it's gonna be
it's
right
like-
there, it's across the hall, on the other side.
Right, another time, I've and the seller goes, here's my second loan payoff. I have a second mortgage, okay.
Theo, you should be good now, I just.
I'm like, holy cow. And everybody's like, listen, people, I just called Wells Fargo and I was like, I know you have a 30-day turnaround on a payoff statement. Like, you will save my life, like I'm at the closing table right now, they got it.
There it is.
We did all the numbers,
So you already told me you're a problem solver.
yeah,
So the
so,
fact that you don't know it all, you don't need to, because you're a problem solver.
right,
I want you to start telling that to yourself in your head, because that's true, yes?
yes,
The fact that you need to know everything before you do anything is not true.
right.
You put that laminated sheet on the back of your laptop and you just sit and you look for people in front of an sculpture.
Okay.
There you go. And then start with those 50 people. Your database. Right. And I know what Marty said, and that's great. And you could also pick the top 10 from those 50. Top 10 people you know the best.
Okay.
Because they would be easy to call and say, you know what? I wanted you to be one of the very first to know. I'm so excited. I'm rejuvenating the real estate career. And I'm thrilled to be able to help people meet their real estate goals. Okay, help you with. If they don't need anything else, they'll tell you. And then you can say, great, would you keep me in mind? Who do you know that might need help?
Okay,
So now I got to throw it go,
right,
right?
right,
Those top 10 know you, yes.
yes,
Like you or love you, yes.
yes,
Yeah.
Trust you, yes.
yes,
There you go.
okay,
Start there.
okay. I can.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. And Starbucks also is a safe place to do that because there's people around. So. Guys, should we come back in and give Theo a chance to tell us about home warranties, please?
Yeah.
You can bring your lunch with. Oh,
Thanks for bringing lunch.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, thank you. Very much.
Meeting this morning all the way up in Greeley, and I was
Oh, my.
like, I can be there around 11:30, so we'll make it happen, right?
That's a bit of a drive.
It's not too bad. There were no wrecks along the way.
I was gonna say, that's the make or break right there.
Yeah.
On I-25,
But they use always off.
Yeah.
It is.
they use speed cameras now going out to Fort Collins.
Oh,
So especially in construction, and so it's kind of made everybody down.
They had so many accidents with all that construction,
It's a nightmare.
the chain, yeah.
So, yeah, well, cool. I would love to collect your guys' business cards and, get a list of follow-up just to share, because there's so much, but I'll get started. My name is Theo Hudala. I work with Home Warranty Incorporated. Are you guys familiar with home warranties much at all? Okay, so you got, how many people are new agents in the room? Okay, awesome. That's exciting. And so hopefully this will be informative a little bit. A home warranty is a protection plan for a house, whether it's listing, we have a listing coverage, and then we offer buyer's coverage that can go on a home at closing to help protect the appliances, the plumbing, the HVAC system afterwards. So we'll talk a little bit about that. But I guess I want to know, going into a closing, have you ever had something on the property break, either right before or right after?
Yep. Yeah.
Has it ever gotten uncomfortable for you? So who absorbed that stress?
Us as agents.
Yeah, right. You feel it because the seller's freaking out, the buyer's freaking out, and how many of you have ever paid out of your own commission to get something across the finish line? And the client, right, they don't remember the inspection report, they just remember what happened, what went wrong. And real estate is a repeat business. If a deal goes well and it continues to go well afterwards, they'll keep coming back. I bought my first house from the person that sold my in-laws 3 houses, my brother-in-law 2 houses, and sold their houses. So my mother-in-law jokes, like, they can do this one for free. They've sold us like 15 houses, and then grandmas, so it's like but we trust them explicitly to help us buy and sell houses, before we moved into Colorado. So your client remembers that, and that tension, that stress that is absorbed. What if you had a plan to change that? That throughout the whole transaction, you could use our product to take that one, not all of your stress away, but one of those pain points and stress points away. So that's what home warranty is about. Tension between buyers, sellers, and expectations. That's what we're going to try to actually solve today. Home warranty, 3 things they actually told us they care about. With us, you can choose your own contract. So if you can get a contractor there, we'll work with them. HVAC is covered under all of our plans. So we're not, there's a lot of companies out there where you have to pay extra for a fridge or extra for We include all that in all of our stuff, and we're 14 months, not 12. So I like to do 3 truths and a lie about our company. But real quick before I do that, what frustrations have you used home warranty companies had in the past in using them? I know Sue said they don't cover anything because of pre-existing conditions. Yeah. Anybody else had frustrations with a home warranty company?
I think using your own
Contractors, yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit.
Okay, because you're like usually waiting on somebody to get out there for.
There's one that they wanna use, or you wanna, but you have to
They're
use them once.
Yeah, and you're like, I can get my guy here today,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, we try to work with that. Any other frustrations you've had? So, home warranty, Inc., a few things. I'm gonna close that because I don't know what is going on with my team. I thought I shut it down.
I think cost is always a thing, people, but
Okay.
it's kind of, it's a thing you have to, have.
Yeah.
Have, but cost
So-
of those kind of what people are like, yeah.
Yeah, is it worth it? Is the value there? Who's paying for it? Well, let's do this. I like this. There's 4 things that popped up on the bottom there, and you guys online can pipe in and say something too. One of those is false. So we're the #1 Better Business Bureau rated company in the company. We pay out on 78% of our claims. We average a 5-minute call time, and our average claim from start to finish to pay out is 4 days.
78%.
Okay, 78%.
4 day week.
The 4-day one, 4-day.
5-minute calls.
Or what's that? 5-minute call? We actually pay out on 92% of our claims.
Oh.
So it's cool because we work with the homeowner. When you file a claim, you call into our US-based call center. We're fluent in Spanish and English every time you call. You're not getting stuck in an AI loop, and you're not getting ported overseas. Right, which are the frustrations with call centers. So someone's fluent in Spanish and English, they're gonna take your call, you answer the phone within 1 minute. We in the call generally average time 5 minutes because it's and that's why we're one of the we are the #1 Better Business Bureau rated company in the country. And then something I sometimes put up there is 27% of our claims were paid out in the 13th and 14th month of our contract. So we're a 14-month warranty, so over a quarter of our claims were covered after everybody else's warranty expires. So and we actually have that data, that was in 2024, that we can look back and say we paid out 27% of the claims during the 13th and 14th month of the contract year. So that's some things that we try to do to be a little bit different. Oh yeah, look at that. These are our 3 plans. And for you, agents, we offer a $100 discount that you can pass on to your client. It's $50 cheaper for a condo or a townhome, and we have a $25 veterans military discount. So we were founded by a former Marine 26 years ago in Rock Rapids, Iowa, after he was doing a lot of appliance repair out of the Marine Corps. And he said, I want to do something because working with home warranty companies is not fun. So that's how we started. So, basically you have, the deductible is $100. That the client pays the first part. And then we pay out on the rest. And then as you go higher, the coverage just gets better. You get everything in the previous plan, but then you start to include things like the executive plan has exterior water lines and electrical lines, and you need a wine fridge. So there's a lot of things you can do. We even have water and sewage backup and some of those types of things that you can add wells, sump pumps including everything, septic tanks. So if there's something on a house, pool and spa coverage, we can cover it. So we're pretty flexible on that. We can do multifamily units. But any questions so far? Yes.
So I guess I have a question. I mean, talking about how well and like it's just easy. You looked at it, went out, now it's gonna be clear. That's what I'm, like, that seems. Like it wouldn't make money.
Well, so I mean, it's a lot of averages, right? Like, enough people buy our warranty and we don't pay out on everything. Like, right, not everybody's filing a claim for everything that's covered,
Okay.
right? They're buying coverage in case something happens. And so,
It's like an insurance policy.
yeah. Yeah, so, and, we've, Dalton, who does all our finance stuff, he runs the numbers all the time on, coverage and, hey, yeah, we can do that, we could, cut, and so we add things based off from some of those numbers and averages.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Does this include the seller coverage as well on the listing?
Yeah, seller's coverage is free for no cost, so let me
Thank you.
talk about that. So we have a free, no strings attached seller's coverage. It goes on a house for up to 6 months while it's on the MLS, and we will cover 14 items for free, basically our core plan. And then you can either pay $75 to add HVAC or have it inspected by a licensed HVAC contractor, and we'll waive the $75, give you a certificate that says this HVAC system is covered by home warranty. And so now your seller can say, hey, I know you're worried about the age of the system. We know it's working. We'll, instead of paying $3,000 or $4,000 to get a new AC or new sun.
Or 6.
Or 6, yeah, depending on the. Well,
Who's your AC
Yeah.
guy?
6,500.
We'll put this home warranty on. And so it really is a way and a tool. So I have agents, every listing appointment they have, and they co-brand with me, they present our seller's warranty, saying, list with me, and you're gonna get this free coverage. Some of them offer to pay the $75 for HVAC or for the inspection. But now, this person's looking at you and somebody else to list their house, and they're like, hey, they're actually looking out for me. And then if a garage door opener breaks, like happened to one of my clients the other day, after a showing, the garage door's not going back down. Well, that's $400 out of pocket, right? Unless you have our warranty, then you just pay the $100 deduction. So that's how we can help get things across the finish line and relieve some of that tension. We can't fix stuff that's already broken, right? So if the house is never grounded correctly, we're not gonna go pay to have somebody reground all the outlets, right? But if something breaks in the process, we can be there to help pick that up, cover it, and not make everything fall apart, or, like, oh man, now we gotta, find more money to go get this, and it's gonna affect things here, so.
Can I add something to that? Sorry, go ahead.
And that's not contingent that they have you guys after the 6 months of the listing.
Correct, it does not need to be converted even if they file a claim.
Okay.
So we hope that because you're trusting us and we're providing a service that helps you generate more business, that you would discover how to use it as a tool to maximize your sales or get over objections, and then usually it converts. So
And the $75 covers those 6 months.
the $75 covers HVAC.
Right.
It's good for 6 months, yeah. Otherwise it's completely free.
Yeah.
So.
So, what if you have a water claim on the inside? Does it not only cover whatever broke, but say the carpet and?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So think of us as your insurance doesn't cover your appliances if they break. It doesn't cover, so like we pay to fix the pipe that burst. But we would pay for access or to fix the water damage.
But homeowners insurance.
Homeowners insurance covers that. So it's kind of like a gap insurance or term life insurance policy, if you think about it. Like, hey, for 14 months, we're gonna put this coverage on and we're gonna pay out that limit on stuff, those items that we contracted, so.
I just want to make a comment. Guys, I present a home warranty. It's right in your contract, right? It says in the seller's advisory, it says home warranties are available. You guys know what I'm talking about? If not, go look it up because it's right in there. There's a paragraph. And it's our job to present that to our clients.
Yeah.
Home warranties are available. It's up to them to purchase it. And does it make sense? So I have a listing closing next week and they put a home warranty on the house. The furnace is old. It's operational, working, but it's old. And because we had the home warranty in place, the buyer didn't have a fit with anything, didn't insist on a new furnace because the home warranty's in place. It's operational, right? Doesn't need to be replaced right now, but he's got the peace of mind that if it does, and they only do 13 months. If it does in the next 13, then he's covered.
So you had it in place before you went under contract?
Yes.
Okay.
And the reseller coverage,
Mhm.
right? Gosh, what about a no-brainer is that, right? To be able to offer that to your seller, free coverage?
Yeah, well, the great part is, so if it converts, if you convert it to a buyer's warranty. So the 8% that we deny is that pesky pre-existing conditions. Well, if you have the seller's coverage on the property, we know the stuff was already working because it was on the property already, and so it's like grandfathering in coverage, and then if you submit the home inspection, which we don't require, we'll grandfather in pre-existing conditions, and I could talk through some of that later, but so it's like we can test the HVAC system in the winter to guarantee that you can get AC coverage, because that's a big thing too. If you buy a house in the winter, inspector's not gonna turn on the AC all the way, so we've devised a way to provide coverage in that event. And I can send you more information on that, but it's really, we're trying to find ways to stop things from ruining the close. So then you and the buyer and seller have confidence, because if something breaks after a sell and you didn't do your due diligence somewhere in there and get it signed off on, one of my agents, her first house she sold, she didn't double check the well pump inspection. And they didn't do it right. And she had to pay all of her commission to fix the well. That was her very first closing. And our home warranty would help solve that. And then we also provide $2,500 of E&O coverage. So we'll pay out the first $2,500 of the E&O claim if you have one. So it's so we're just trying to be a company that can come alongside and support you guys and what you do. Any questions?
Tell us how they can schedule a one-to-one with you to find out more, get questions answered.
Absolutely, you could, so you can activate a seller's coverage if you have one. You obviously got to clear it with the client because it is a contract with the seller. That's my phone number and email address. And I'd love to buy coffee, hit top golf, something like that. And just talk through what it looks like, what our options are. And I say that listing coverage is like the easiest way to figure out who it's free. Like why, if it should be on all of your listings. I don't know why somebody wouldn't, because we're not gonna harass you to convert it. And I just think if you can have a little bit of peace of mind for you and your seller, or even for your buyer going in saying, hey, we're gonna get this, and we're gonna ask for the seller to pay for it, like it can solve that problem, it just really helps out.
Something else, guys, it's amazing how many times after the closing, all of a sudden there's an issue. The dryer doesn't work anymore. Guess who the first call is that they make? They make it to their agent first, and then that agent calls me as the seller's agent, right? Wanting to know what we're gonna do about it. Well, we've got the home warranty, call me.
Yeah.
Right, there's a lot of things there that work really well.
Yeah.
So I actually have one under contract and we're doing the inspection today. Is that enough time if I wanted to?
To get
Your seller?
your seller, yeah, we can put the seller's warranty on at any time. And for the buyer's warranty, we can really put that on, it can even go on after close. Most people pay out at closing via the title company, but you can do month to month if you want, if somebody's like, oh, I'm just gonna put this on my own back pocket. But yeah, so we're super flexible. I mean, you email me the information that I need, or you can create a portal, or we're in CTME if you use that system. We get that and within 20 minutes, the invoice will be out and the warranty will be active.
Karen, I would say before they have the inspection, before you see the inspection report, that would be the time to put the home warranty in place.
Okay.
Cause otherwise, then you have things that
Right.
maybe you didn't,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So this would be the time to put it in place, the other sellers, okay.
yeah, that's important. So I got some realtors who will try to put in the house in their name and I'm like, no.
Doesn't work that way.
You need the seller's info, but really, we're flexible, we'll work with you to figure it out, and, do you guys have business cards at all? I'd love to. Fly over.
And guys, we don't say thank, oh, I'm sorry, guys.
Oh, what was your name again?
Theo.
Theo, thank you.
You all thank Theo for lunch.
Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate it, let's do.
Yeah, thank you.
Chick-fil-A nuggets, nobody ever brings the nuggets, thank you.
You know, I almost
Thanks,
brought
indeed.
something for everyone, almost.
Stop sharing.
Okay.
Okay, Chris, how do I do this now?
I gotcha, let me just.
Thanks,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you, Theo.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'll shoot you a text right now, actually.
Would you leave a card behind for me?
Yeah, I actually have a full display stand up.
Oh, perfect, I'll grab one. Thank you.
We'll reconnect.
Who doesn't like Chick-fil-A?
Yeah.
Oh, darn it, did you eat the bread?
I ate the
Potatoes?
yeah.
There's no potatoes out there.
Oh,
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so we are gonna bring this home. We've got another 40 minutes here and we'll be finished up. This next section, what I wanna do is I wanna give you some actual things that you can use in your daily schedule to make sure that you are planning properly and doing the priorities first.
Did I say we offer $100 each discount on everything?
No.
On the buyer's plans, so yeah, our price, we offer $100 off for agents that you can pass on to the client.
Okay, good. Which is a good way to do it, to not to have a preconceived conflict of interest there.
Yep.
Offer to the client, right?
And then I can call the client and brag about how you passed on the discount,
There you go, there
so.
you go. Good, thank you again. So we are going to start with what's called the 7D, as in D's name, the 7D process, okay? And I'm just gonna go through these and, okay, why is this not working? Hang on 1 second, gotta find out what's going on with my clicker. Let's see if it will work from here. Chris? Where'd he go?
Sue, on your presentation, just try to click on it, like on your computer, like click the presentation.
Okay,
Like just right on the screen, like click it real quick, see if that works.
I just switched over to, hang on, let me try this. I can leave this, thank you.
Better.
Hmm.
Are you just trying to go to the next screen?
I am.
You just want to get.
Okay, maybe we just can't put it in slide mode then, maybe that's what it is.
Here, I can show you how.
Perfect.
So we'll just put them down here. Click this little box. Well. There you go.
Except it's not showing up on the screen. Oh, there it is. Now let's see if it clicks. There we go. Thank you.
Back again.
We're back.
Yeah.
As if you already know this, tech is not my gift. I'm getting better, but it's not there yet. So, number one, and these all start with D, and I want you to write these down as we talk. Why do you write things down? Why is that
Space
important?
in your brain.
Good job. Good job. I love it. Actually, so number 1D is download. Basically what that means is you are going to do a brain dump. You're going to put everything on paper. So if I'm looking at my schedule for today, or I'm looking, let's say, at my schedule for this week, I'm just brain dumping everything that has to be done. And when I say everything, I mean business and personal. Everything that needs to be done today goes on my brain dump list. So I'm downloading that all, right? If you're like me, when I have it out of my head on paper, I feel so much better. I'm not concerned that I'm missing something, right? Because I've got it on paper, rather than just, oh my gosh, what have I forgotten? What have I forgotten? So when I put it on paper and I do that download, that works really well to get it out of my head, get it on paper. And then you're eliminating, hopefully, the mental clutter in your brain, right? So list all the tasks you need to complete today, or if you're going to do the whole week, you can do it for the week. I really recommend starting daily. That is what's worked for me. Every single day, Monday through Friday, I would do a download. Brain dump. What do I have to do today? And start there. Once I've done the dump, then I'm going to go through my list and I'm going to prioritize before I move to the next step. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's say I've got 10 things on my list. I'm going to prioritize them in order. Everybody get that? We're good so far? Yeah. So what's our first D?
Download.
Download, which means what?
Brain
A
dump.
brain dump. I love that. Cool. Number 2, delay. And this is basically just looking at your list and saying, what on here doesn't have to be done today? What could I delay till tomorrow, till next week? What could be pushed off? So if I have a list of 15 things that I have to do today, and I can delay 5 of them, is that a win for me in my schedule? Absolutely. And have I helped prioritize my list that way? Because if it can be delayed, it's certainly not my top priority. Agreed? Yes?
Yes.
We need to have some jumping jacks after lunch. Yeah, need a nap. I've had carbs, I need a nap.
I'm worried that jumping around will.
There you go, there you go. So, one of my coaches, Jordan, asks, whose court is the ball in? If it's gonna be delayed, it's not in my court, right? He calls this hallucinated urgency. Am I hallucinating that this is an urgent item, or is it really truly urgent? Have you guys all seen the Eisenhower matrix? It's the urgent and important, urgent, not important, not urgent, not important. Have you seen that? It's a quadrant. And it's going through the quadrant and deciding, okay, what do I have on my list that's number 1, urgent and important? Those are my first priorities. And if you are not familiar with the Eisenhower matrix, look it up. It's really cool. So the exercise, we didn't do the exercise on the first one, did we? So take your list, write down a list for tomorrow. So tomorrow's Friday. What's on your list tomorrow? Let's say you're going to write 5 things down. Write 5 things down that has to be done tomorrow. And then put them in order of Friday. So what do I have to do on Friday? Let's see. I have a haircut planned. I have a massage planned. I have to call 5 people about my open house on Saturday. See where I'm going with this? I'm putting both business and personal in there. And you heard what came first, right? My haircut, my massage. Maybe one of the things you have to do tomorrow is make sure the kids get to school. Maybe one of the things you have to do tomorrow is grocery shop for a party you have planned on Saturday. You're gonna write it all down.
Oh, it's literally everything.
Everything.
Oh,
Everything. Remember how before we talked about one thing? Now we're talking about everything. Maybe I have laundry that must be done tomorrow.
To shower.
I know, like, I know, it's very, all the things. I know, it's a little bit.
Maybe not that great.
Maybe I don't have my taxes done yet, and I have to finish that tomorrow, so I can get it to the accountant. Right? What has to be done, or what is your list for tomorrow? Then we'll go on to what has to be done. But first, you're just gonna brain dump it. Does everybody have at least 5? Yes? Good, we're gonna go forward, is that okay? Great, so second then is to delay. What on your list, those things that you just wrote down, what does not have to happen tomorrow. So just put a line through it if it doesn't have to happen tomorrow. If all of them do, then you've got a good list so far. But you may have some things on there that don't have to be done tomorrow. They could be delayed till the weekend or till next Friday.
And there's a difference between should happen and doesn't have to happen.
It depends on where you're at in the priority list, right? So if I have a number 1 priority, chances are good that has to be done.
Right.
If I have a number 5 priority, maybe not. And it doesn't have anything to do with whether I should or not, it's the fact that I don't have to, because it doesn't have to be done. Oftentimes we keep ourselves busy with stuff that we don't necessarily need to be doing at that time or that day, right? They're not priority. Showering though is not one of them.
Yeah, that one.
Okay. So what on your list does not have to be done tomorrow? Everybody got that? Number 3, what's our 3 word?
Delegate.
Delegate. Oh my. We all have such issues with this because nobody can do it better than we can. Nobody can do this better than I can. So it has to be done by me. Follow me. Not true. Can always be done better by somebody else. I guarantee it. And it should, because somebody else might be better at it, right? So who could you delegate to? The question that my coach Jordan asks, if it were illegal for you to do whatever that activity is, how would you get it done? How would it get done? He uses an example. He had a coaching client who was going to buy a business. And he was looking at both a bakery and a barber shop. And he was not a baker and he was not a barber, either way. But he wanted to buy a business. So he was looking at these 2 businesses and discovered that if he had to go in and do the actual thing to cause the business to run, the actual activity, like he had to go in and bake bread, or he had to go in and cut hair, he didn't have a license to cut hair. So that would have been illegal for him to do. So he chose to go with the bakery because he could do that if he had to. You where I'm going with that? So delegate. This is that red, yellow, green exercise that we talked about a little bit with the finance. Same thing here. Take your list and red, yellow, green it. So green, if you color green, that must be done by you. Nobody else can do it in your business, in your world. It must be done by you. You couldn't hire somebody to take your kids to school, right? And you could, but you understand what I'm saying. If you color code it yellow, it could be done by somebody else or a system that you currently have, but you're just not utilizing. And if you color code it red, it could be done by another person or a system that you don't have in place yet. Does that make sense? So you're going to color code it. Which again helps you do what?
Prioritize.
Exactly. Good job, guys. You connected those dots. That was right. Again, delegation is hard for most of us because we really do feel like nobody could do it as well as we can, or that we could do it faster than somebody else. I can do this so much quicker than having to show somebody else how to do it. Has anybody but me ever said that? All the time? Yeah. So what if you took the time to train somebody else how to do it and then you could delegate? Right? You get that time back and then some. So our third D is what?
Delegate.
Delegate. Number 4. I love this one. Delete. Press the delete button. What would happen to that thing on your list if it didn't happen at all? Would that be okay? Then it's probably not important at all and could be deleted. If you started your real estate business today, would you still be doing that particular business item? So I'm going to use, I haven't had a transaction coordinator for my real estate business. I don't know why I didn't have him the entire time I've done real estate. Truly I don't. Because he gives me that so much time. He's another set of eyes on all the dates and the deadlines and the signatures and the initials and keeps me in compliance and yada, yada, yada. I'm really good at paperwork, but I hate it.
Yeah.
I think we probably all could say that, right? We're not in real estate to do paperwork. We got into real estate to serve clients. And he tracks all of that for me. I have another set of eyes, gives me a comfort zone. It's brilliant. He emails for dates and deadlines. All the clients, all the realtors. He does all of that. It's extra added. Right? If I were starting my real estate business over again, that's one of the first hires I think is a transaction coordinator. That's what I mean by that question. Would I still be doing my own paperwork? Nah, no. I used to, when I coached, I think I told you I was Margaret's coach when she first started. And when I was a PC, a productivity coach, I used to tell my coaching clients, do the first 2 or 3 transactions yourself, paperwork wise, just so you know what you're doing and you know what it says and you know what it means. Well, I got to the point where it's like, no, that's probably not the best advice I can give. Hire a TC, learn the paperwork, know what it says, read it, but hire a TC to do that. Right? Yeah. My responsibility is still to know what it says.
Just go hire someone else.
No, I still know what it says. You heard me quote the seller advisory just a moment ago. Up until a year ago, I used to teach an 8-hour continuing education contracts class where we talked about every single blank in all of our most used forms. I know that contract pretty doggone well, except for the most recent changes. I don't know. But you know what I'm saying. It's up to you as the real estate professional to read and know what it is you're presenting. So on your list, what's on your red list? Did you mark anything as red? Okay, if you had marked anything as red, you would look to see what was not necessary at all to be done by you, and you would what? Take it out. Delete it. That's so satisfying. It's like pushing the D button on the computer. I still like delete. Number 5D is what? Decrease. So again, you want to make time for what matters most in your life and your business, which is most probably going to start with you and your family, right? So you start there and you decrease what you're doing. So maybe you take some things off, maybe you also decrease the time. There's a thing on, Rennie Papasan turned me onto this. It's oh shoot, what's it called? Speedy Meetings, it's right up there. Speedy Meetings on Google Calendar. You can go right into your Google Calendar, click on the Speedy Meetings, and it will condense your meetings from 1 hour to 45 minutes. What happens when we have a specific amount of time to get something done?
Take all that time.
And it only takes that time, right? If I know I've only given myself 45 minutes, do I get it done in 45?
Yeah.
Generally speaking, yes. If I give myself an hour, does it expand to that time frame? Generally, yes. You see where I'm going with that? So you could actually decrease your daily schedule by just decreasing the time on a meeting. So instead of setting a coffee meeting with your database people for an hour, make it 45 minutes. You've just opened up another 15 minutes of your schedule for
Another week.
or what's your lead domino?
So.
Lead gen!
Yeah.
Mark, sorry, we didn't get it that yet. So now look at what you marked green. Did you mark anything on your list green that it had to be done by you? Look at that list. Give that, whatever it is, a time value. How long will it take you to do? I love that. And then, depending on what the activity is, you might want to either decrease or add to, right? So who's got something on their green list that they will share? Karen.
So, my green list. Shoot, I lost it. Oh, here it is. Write checks. Write a property blurb. Upload an inventory, update all daily reports, post late fees, and write a contract.
And this is for what?
All different things. Work.
So what are you writing a contract for tomorrow?
To go sell a property.
So you're signing a listing contract with the seller tomorrow?
Correct.
Okay, great, good job. So what time value did you assigned to that activity?
I just fit it in where it goes. I usually piece it together.
No, but if you're gonna go, are you presenting it or are you just filling it out?
Well, I'm filling it out and then I'll just email it to her. So she's also my boss. So
Okay.
that's a weird.
When do you present it to your boss?
I'm just gonna email it to her. We already talked about it.
Okay.
It's a weird dynamic.
Okay, I'm just gonna say, talk to Mark about that. Okay,
She
About-
yeah.
okay, she's already okayed that, yeah, great. Reason I'm saying that, guys, is because we don't have informed consent with the contract if we haven't presented. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys all get that, right? And informed consent is a huge piece of having a valid contract. So, okay, so you're gonna fill out your contract. Let's say that you have one time block to get that done in. How long would that take you?
I would probably set aside 45 minutes for me to present and go over to write it, present it, and have her sign it.
45 minutes.
Correct.
Okay, great. So is that in your time block then for tomorrow somewhere? 45 minutes.
Not yet.
Okay, are you meeting her in person or are you doing it over Zoom?
On the phone.
Okay, so you don't have to plug in drive time. That's something else we should generally figure out or forget about in our schedule, right? I remember when we first came out of COVID and we started doing stuff in person again, my time blocks were such a mess. I had not time blocked drive time. Because we didn't have to do that, right? We weren't driving anywhere. We were sitting at Zoom, at home on our laptop on Zoom. And so you have to plug that in to make sure that you have a schedule that's gonna work. Now, what if you decide, Karen, that 45 minutes is not enough time? What will you do next time?
Give myself an hour,
Okay.
maybe an hour.
See where we go with that? That way you're continuously checking on your time that you have assigned an activity so that you can know that this is gonna work going forward, right? Great. Okay, number 6 domino is domino. It's like that's domino, right? Let's do the twist. So now you're going to take anything on your list and see if anything can be combined. Now, please understand, in the One Thing book, one of the lies of productivity in the One Thing book is the lie of multitasking. It doesn't happen. We don't multitask. We task switch. Even computers don't multitask. They just task switch very quickly, right? The computer's not doing 2 things at once. It's doing this and then this really fast. So this is not multitasking. This is dealing with items that you can combine that don't take a lot of mental energy. So if I were going to try to combine writing my next great American novel with writing a great contract, not going to work. I don't have brain power for that, right? Those are 2 top level activities. However, if I combine listening to a podcast while walking the dog, that works. So what activities on your list could be combined with each other and taken care of in the same time block? Again, Wendy Coxan told the story of, she has a best friend in Austin, Texas. Wendy is Jay's wife. I don't know if you know that name or not. And she has a big real estate team, really productive real estate team. Plus she has investments and she's amazing. Anyway, she and her best friend in Austin decided and discovered that they could meet and have friend conversation every day while taking their dogs on a walk, while getting in their steps. So they did all 3 at the same time, one time block, right? That's a real successful combination. Would you guys agree? Mm-hmm. So what could you do on your list that could be combined that way? And then time block for it. Are you getting the time block piece? Mm-hmm. How many of you guys are already time blocking in schedules?
I could be better, but I could.
Yeah, me too. You could all be better, but are you at least started time blocking? Mm-hmm. Really being aware of what your schedule is going to be like. What do I have to attend next week? What's on my schedule for training, for coaching, for lead gen, getting that all in your calendar and then protecting those blocks. Number 7. I love this word. Ready, go. Do. You have to take whatever's in the time block and then actually execute, implement. So if my time block says lead generation, make 10 database calls. Yesterday, I know because I had a client who told me this, it was breaking an entry, B&E. Right, on the, you guys know what I'm talking about, I always call it the R2D2, because I can never remember the, whatever it is.
The DTD.
Thank you.
whatever.
I call it R2D2. And then I would go back.
I like that, that's better.
So she told me yesterday it was B&E, because she had a goal to make X amount of calls, and that was the first place she was gonna go. Was to her database, last name and starting with B and E, and she was gonna call them first, right? So time block, and then get it done. Actually do it. Have a strategy. How are you gonna get it done? And then how long will each task take to complete? So track yourself as you're doing the task. So like we just talked with Karen, when she goes to do her 45-minute contract presentation, she's going to be really aware of how long it takes. And she discovers, oh gosh, I really need to block that in the future for an hour. She can do that because now she knows, right? Everybody got that? So it's the do. So how many hours a day would you say you're on your phone?
Oh,
10.
Yeah.
maybe one.
It's crazy. Do you know that there's a setting on your phone that will tell you exactly how much time you've been on your phone?
Yeah.
Here they are. So on your iPhone, go to settings, screen time. On an Android, go to settings and digital well-being, and it will tell you exactly how much time you're spending on your phone. Now, we make our living on the phone, right? Most of us do. So I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but I am saying, I bet you not all of your screen time is lead gen. Would that be an accurate statement from you?
Yeah.
I'll bet some of it is doom scrolling. Yeah.
Yeah.
Going down the rabbit holes. Are you in the same rabbit hole that I was? Right? I'm guaranteeing you some of that is that. And it's very eye-opening to see how many hours per day. Especially when you look at somebody and say, but Marge, I don't have time for that. Right?
Yes.
All of a sudden, you've just picked up some time. Ooh, what'd you find out, Dee? I saw that. I won't finish
You're like, it's not real.
I won't finish
Just left it open.
And then it says over here, the planning fallacy. It normally takes us at least 50% more to do an activity than we think it will. So that 45 minutes may actually take an hour and 15, right? And if you plan for that, knowing that, and it comes in at 45, yay, great. You've just discovered something worthwhile for your business, right? Great. And then again, you're going to document your time on the task every time you do it, just to make sure you're on track with that. But wait, there's more. We did 7, right? I promised you 7 Ds. There's actually number 8. And this was so funny. I could not, as I was putting number 8 together yesterday on the slide, I had a brain freeze. And I couldn't remember what number 8 was. So I texted Jay Patson and asked him, and then I texted Kim Zuroff, who's the president of Productive, at the same time, and asked her as well, thinking one of the two of them will have time to get back to me before the end of the day. I was so pleased they both got back to me. And Jay said the word, and Kim said, oh, see, there's only 7. I know that they've talked about doing number 8, but I don't think we have it yet. So I texted Jay back, thanks, and I texted Kim back. I got it from Jay. It's defend. And the reason they added this is, what do you suppose? Why do you think they added this one?
It's easy to get off track.
So I have a question for you. If I were to look at your schedule right now, what would it tell me about you, your priorities, and your life? What would it tell me if I looked at your schedule right now?
I only actually.
You only work? Oh, well, yeah, that's not good. And then a person who wants adventure, that's not good.
Tie it full circle, it would tell me I need to align some of that.
Booyah! I just want you to hear my That's exactly right. You're gonna align everything if your schedule is the way it should be, right? It's aligning your life, it's aligning your business, it's aligning your priority, it's aligning where you're spending your time, where you're not spending your time, it's aligning what you're saying yes to, what you're saying no to. Do you see how it just brings it all home? So, how are you going to defend your priorities today? If I were to look at your schedule today, and you were to tell me your priorities, how would you defend those? Could you say to me, Sue, I did that number one because my kiddo called sick from school, and that was my top priority. I had to go pick them up all day long. Absolutely, right? But if you were to look at me and I saw on there, watch daytime television 4 hours this morning, I'm going to look at you and say, what are your goals? Does this help you get there? Right? And then I would coach you through it. Love you. This next question I love. What do you want to remember about 2026, 3 years out? So take yourself out to 2029. What do you want to remember about this year? What is it that's important to you about this year that you want to be able to remember 3 years from now? That's a powerful question.
Yeah.
Because now you're taking yourself forward, looking back and saying, oh, wow, that was really cool. Or you're saying, oh, no, I had this plan, and I didn't do it because this got in the way, and I allowed this to get in the way, right? So what do you want 2029? What do you want to look back on and think about 2026? And then how does your usage of time on a daily basis reflect that? Whatever you want 2026 to look like. How does your current schedule reflect that? Yes? So I gave you a bonus there with number 8. What's your time block to put your 7D process into order? Do you have a time block for that? Could you have a time block for that? Could you do that today? You already had started on it, right? With your tomorrow. You've already started. Could you do that on a daily basis? To discover your day, whether or not it's what you want it to be, if it's going to get you closer to your goals. Or could you do it at least once a week to maybe discover that? I started out doing it every day because I had to. When I have it something new, I have to really get into it. Now I'm doing it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Now I'm doing it about twice a week. And the goal is to get to once a week where I feel confident I'm going to get it done.
So you do more in the beginning and then you start to like.
Once it becomes a habit, then I can say, okay, I got this. Plus, I started to realize that most of my weeks have similarities.
Yeah.
Right? I have coaching call time blocks on this day, this day, this day, this day. I have other time blocks on this day. So I know what to expect there. And then other things would come in and be on top of that. So maybe I would have a new listing appointment, as an example, that I had to make time for. And then I had to block time for research and the follow-up and getting it on the market. You know what I'm saying, right? Yeah. Again, get it in your calendar, your time blocks, on your phone, I will tell you guys, I use a paper planner still to this day. And I will forever, because again, that synapse that happens between thinking and writing it down and being able to touch it. The other thing is I use my phone for alerts. So if I've got an appointment, my phone will alert me that time is coming up. Does that make sense? So I'll use my phone or my electronic calendar for that. But for an actual time block schedule, I use a paper planner. And then accountability partner. Did you guys decide who your accountability partner is going to be? We call them accountability buddies. Who's your accountability buddy? Right? And what's your check-in going to look like? Are you going to check in daily? Are you going to check in weekly? Figure that out. Get that done. Planning. So, what did you learn from that? From the 7D process? Just this last process that we worked on. What was your major aha takeaway?
We need to actually get serious about my goals and start planning out
Great. What would that do for you, Ryan, if you got serious about goals and plans?
It keep me more aligned, honestly. I know I think about it every day mentally, like yeah, it's just always in my head, but I just don't really take the actions that I need to. I let other things get in the way of all of. Like my big thing is I love playing basketball. Like I play Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at noon. I'm always like, maybe that's too much, or maybe I could just shrink it down to an hour and just hold myself like that.
Or maybe you leave it where it's at because it's something that works for your mental and physical health and emotional health. And you time block other things around it that then you take responsibility to actually execute on.
Okay.
How about that? How about a both and instead of an either or?
Okay.
There you go. There you go. And what would that do for you? When you get to a point where you can play basketball 3 times a week and build a successful business, what does that mean for you?
I know I'll be happy. Sure. Assuming I'll probably have more time with my family to reach all their goals.
That's one thing I will tell you guys. When you have a goal, it's really important. It's connected to something. Right? I wanna live in a house part of the year in Italy. That's one of the things I am currently working toward. That gets me excited and motivated to make that next call. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So my goals are connected to something that's all about me.
Okay.
Just FYI. That connection is really important.
Yeah.
Goals need to have meaning and purpose.
What Chris said. Yep, you can teach the class.
No, I just I'll have another class a couple weeks.
Good job remembering it. That's awesome. Who else will share what your ahas were from today?
I like the red, yellow, green thing. Breaking that down like a daily checklist and breaking it down what's important.
The breakdown?
And what I also realize is that I am not breaking things down as much as I need to. Or items of the day and certain things like that.
So getting to the lead domino level,
Yes.
putting on your shoes.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, we've all been there. Yeah, that's
I'm
great.
usually already at breakfast and without shoes, so I need to get the shoes on first.
There you go. There you go. Or one of the kiddos has your shoes.
Or that too, yes.
Cool.
Like, that's what's fine about it, all these little details of things, like, in between the important stuff and the money stuff and the responsibility, like, make yourself the things for your health, for your sanity, for your, you know, I don't know, whatever, you know, put it in there.
I have a little meme that comes up on my laptop every once in a while to remind me, and it's a coffee cup, empty, on a saucer, and it says you cannot pour from an empty cup. We cannot be something for someone else if we don't have it to give within ourselves because we're empty. So you have to fill yourself up first. Have to.
Yeah.
And again, as women, that's not what we've heard all of our lives, is it, ladies? Right? And maybe guys too, but certainly women. That's the message we get. I remember there was a commercial. You guys are all probably weren't even born when this commercial was on television. But it was this woman and she's standing in her best dress with a pan, stirring the pan, and it was all about, the song was all about bringing home the bacon, frying it up in the pan, loving on her man and doing it all. We can have it all. We can do it all. Baloney. That's baloney. That's part of, again, the one thing, but we can't do it all. We don't want to do it all.
We don't want to be.
Yeah, we need to find, again, we need to fill ourselves first so that then we have something to give other people. Who else saw?
Mine was the hallucinated urgency. Like I feel like I get to my desk in the morning and I'm like, everything has to be done all at the same time immediately. And that's false. It's very false.
Another, I mentioned the Eisenhower matrix. Pull that up, Rachel, because you'll see the visual, the quadrants. And if you look at that, it's very similar to the 70s in that you can look at that and say, okay, what fits in the quadrant of urgent and important? What fits in the quadrant of not urgent and not important, and where do we go with that one?
The trash can.
Delete,
Yeah.
right? Gone, done, over. So that will help you too, I think,
Okay.
just seeing that quadrant, and maybe you need to look at that and the 70s to start
Mhm.
with, and really start to get your schedule under control
Yeah.
for you,
Yes, yeah.
not for everybody else. It's like, what do we do first thing in the morning when we wake up? How many of you reach for your phone,
Sure.
right? And what do you do when you reach for your phone?
Start scrolling.
Look at my.
That's what the screen time starts.
Your emails or their messages or their texts.
It's till 4 hours.
Yes. So what's on there? So whose priorities are those?
Everyone else.
Theirs, not yours. Theirs. So we're really comfortable with handling everybody else's priorities first. And we need to switch that or do you first. Do you first. Who else wants to share an aha?
I'd say that, like, finding the number one domino.
Mhm.
That
And
lead
what
domino?
that's, that lead domino and what that is, it starts hitting all the other things and
Yep.
makes those better.
That's such a great visual, isn't it? We've all seen that on wherever you watch a screen where the dominoes are all lined up and they're all over the place and they're in the front yard and the house and the backyard and you pick the first one and what happens? It goes upstairs and downstairs, all over the place. That's what we mean by first domino. I want you to think about that in your mental picture. I'm going to flip that first domino and it's going to help the other dominoes fall. Right? That's what finding that lead domino will do. Thank you for that.
That lead
That's a
domino
powerful
was really
visual.
helpful.
I'm sorry?
That lead domino was really helpful.
Mhm.
So I've always wanted to, for lead gen is do like social media posts. But I'm all procrastinating, and then when I feel like I want to, the stupid thing's not charged. So I'm gonna go home and plug it in.
There you go. Good job. Guys, I so appreciate your time and attention today. Thank you for being here, for trusting me to share content with you that you can utilize in your lives and businesses. And remember, I told you I was going to ask again at the very beginning. If you know of anybody who could benefit from a coaching relationship business-wise with me, or a training relationship, like somebody in your database who maybe has a department or owns a business and would love to hire an outside trainer, I'd love to apply for that job. And I'd love your recommendation. Thanks, guys.
Thank
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 you.
you. Greg, you're still there. I see you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.
My pleasure. And there's my contact information again, just in case you need it. Oh. Oh, I forgot. Greg, are you still there?
Yes?
I'm going to give away a book. I just wanted to make sure you were part of this. So I'm going to choose a day of the year and I want you to tell me whose birthday is the closest to that day. Okay? So I'm going to choose September 19th. Does anybody have the birthday September 19th?
Okay.
Do you really?
No, I was September.
You're September 20th?
Let's go.
That's the one.
That's why I started giggling.
Now there's one connect or one condition. No, I'm trying to do that. Condition, thank you. Yeah, let's see where. One condition, once you've read this, call me so we can talk about.
Yeah, I got your picture. Yeah, we'll do.
Okay, great.
To have that
Enjoy it.
conversation.
Brilliant.
Thank you.
Brilliant.
Thank you.
My hand was on part.
Yeah.
I didn't want to. And the other one, the blueprint, the,
Thank you.
Ultimate guide
Yeah.
to an insanely successful business.
yes.
Yeah, I'm taking it down.
Keep cutting him and the road that's stupid. Oh my gosh, it's just it's funny. At the end of each chapter, he does what he calls thinking time. So he has a time block in his schedule every week that's just to sit and think. And he has questions at the end of each chapter that he thinks about. He has the same chair, the same desk, the same legal pad, the same pen. Everything is the same, and he sits and he has time to just think. That's one of the things he says that make him successful. And the questions he asks at the end of each chapter are brilliant. It's a great book. Thank you. Like I said, he should pay me residuals. I'm marketing his books all the time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Sue.
Thank
It
you.
was so good seeing you again.
You too.
Yeah.
Okay, we had Greg. Who else does he have online that I need to find? Oh, Kim.
Yesterday was very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the one kid.
Yeah, Steve Riley, everyone's not.
One last.
And